in Pam Oliver.
Well, Coach, we've talked about it with you. It's all about the ball. So tell me a couple of things that are tops on your to-do list.
Well, defensively, we know we have to go after it. They're very good at taking care of it. Both defenses have to go after it. Offensively, we've been good at that all year, knowing how to take care of it, owning it on each possession. So we know it'll come down to that.
Have you been able to take in all of this, to soak it in, enjoy it, this opportunity to win a playoff game?
I do, and it's really for these fans. And so I can't wait for the world to see our city, how much they love our team. We're pumped to get it going.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Back up to you, Kevin.
Peter and Pam, thank you very much. Coach Carroll, Coach Quinn, of course. Coach Quinn worked in Seattle under Pete Carroll. NFL Playoff Factory, give you a little insight of what we're facing. It's only the third time that every divisional winner is meeting in this round. That's when we kick off here today in Atlanta. Now, they take you back to a time from 90 to 2000 when the number 1 and 2 seeds dominated, but then started to come back to the pack a little bit. But more recent memory, it seems that the number 1 and 2 seeds get a little stronger. Atlanta won the toss, they deferred, and here we go. From Atlanta, it's Hester. And Devin Hester has a good return. We get a flag as well. So on the first play, we get a penalty on the Hester return. Gene Steratore is our referee in his 14th season, his 8th playoff game assignment.
During the return, holding return team number 41. 10-yard penalty, first down Seattle.
It's Dewey McDonald on the hold right there. They see it, they call it, and Devin Hester's return negated by the penalty.
And so here is Russell Wilson, ton of playoff experience, but on the road he hasn't been nearly as good as at home. They've gone to the Super Bowl twice when they've had that first round bye, but this a different animal, and it is loud in Atlanta.
That's what I was just thinking, Kevin. This sounds like his home crowd in Seattle. The fans came, but Russell Wilson, this is when he shines. As I said in the open, he looks healthy. He was excited about that. He seemed ready to play.
They start from their own 11, and Wilson will throw. Got time, now maybe a decision to run. It's a short game. Brooks Reed out on the tackle. Want to remind you, Spanish language broadcast is available on both Fox Deportes and also by utilizing the SAP button on our broadcast here today. And you wonder if running, we haven't seen it from Russell Wilson, if maybe that's a factor today.
Well, he talked about last week he didn't need to because Thomas Rawls was so successful running the ball, but he did tell us when we met with him yesterday, I'm ready and I expect to run.
And they do run here, and this is Rawls, who had a great game last week, and he's up for what should be a Seattle first down. And this is really what Seattle is built on, the run game. I mean, it's what they've been built on for the last few years, right? And it's also play selection. You look at it, they've ran more than they've thrown it in the years past, but this year, they're way below that margin. A lot of reasons for that. No Marshawn Lynch, banged up offensive line, Russell Wilson hurt, and you see the numbers per game. They were only 25th in the league this year running the football, but it changed last week. They ran it more, they ran it well, and they want to do the same thing today. First down. Rawls. Nice move, Thomas Rawls. And his first 2 carries is picking up where he left off.
Kevin, you talked about they ran it more, but I think it's the way they ran it too. They've been an outside zone running team. Last week they went back to old Marshawn Lynch football, which is downhill. They ran it in the interior behind their best lineman center, Justin Britt, and Thomas Rawls ran it with authority. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. When healthy, he can be dynamic, he can be physical. He loves that inside running.
This time Thomas Rawls lines up as a wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. Wilson fires far side, and he's got a completion. And he's going to hit the fullback, Marcel Reese, that time, who's an excellent receiver for another Seattle first down.
He is an excellent receiver. You don't think of fullbacks being that. He's going to run a simple slant route, matched up against Keanu Neal, the fine rookie strong safety, and Russell Wilson on point, throwing to Marcel Reese. They were raving about Marcel Reese's ability to block, but he also brings the ability to catch the ball to the table for the Seahawks.
On first down, to fake the run again. Claiborne coming. Wilson escaping. Can run. He will. Wilson tucking away, and he's got a first down We haven't seen that speed all year long, but he's finally healthy.
He is healthy. I mean, this is a guy who played with a severely injured knee, a severely injured ankle. He couldn't do this all year. This is what has made him special in the past. Right away, we're seeing that he's healthy. And Russell Wilson getting down as Brian Poole brings him down.
It's a 14-yard run. Wilson last week had -3 yards rushing, so he's already ahead of that pace. And the Seahawks have picked up 42 yards on the opening drive. They'll run it. Rawls, patient, not much there. That hole closed quickly with Jonathan Babineau on the tackle.
Kevin, you look at this Atlanta defense, and they went through some growing pains this year. They played a lot of rookies right in the core of this defense. You talk about Deion Jones, Devondre Campbell at the linebacker spot. Vic Beasley only in his second year. Keanu Neal. Those guys got better as the year went on. Experience. They became more vocal, and they're playing at a higher level on defense.
There's Beasley, number 44. He led the NFL in sacks. A run out of the gun with Rawls, who sneaks his way inside the 45, and a third down is coming up. Well, the Falcons earned the 2 seed, John, with an 11-5 record. Their offense is a story, but their defense got a lot better after the bye. The takeaways, look at that. They had the same amount they did the first 10 games in the last 6 games. Then they were tough on opposing quarterbacks. They really tightened things up. That helped, and then 46 passes defense in the last 6 as opposed to only 41 the first 10. This is the biggie. They got better by 8 points a game, allowing that much less. So it's been a much better unit. As we have an injury, it's Germain Ifedi for Seattle, who did not get up after the last play. He's the rookie right guard.
Speaking of rookies going through growing pains, he's one of those. But he, like his offensive line mates, were fantastic last week.
Take a look at the replay and see about Ifedi. Injury timeouts from Atlanta. Ooh.
Sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
Germain Ifedi, the rookie right guard, walked off under his own power on the right. Reese Odiombo, another rookie, number 70, now comes in at right guard. And it's a 3rd and 7 for the Seahawks on the opening drive. Wilson has time, backs up, throws. Baldwin with a great catch, and another Seahawk first down.
Kevin, Russell Wilson had great time. One of the reasons, watch Jimmy Graham down at the bottom of your screen. He's going to chip on Vic Beasley before he goes out for his route. That gives him the time. There's that chip on Vic Beasley. That gives the time for the long developing route by Baldwin. Cross country, we call that route. Russell Wilson on point again with the accurate throw.
Baldwin had a monster game in the wild card round. 11 catches, 104 yards. This opening drive has been impressive. 9th play of it for Seattle. Coming near side, Baldwin again. Campbell there to snuff that play right out.
Kevin, one of the reasons that these young guys that we talked about, Devondre Campbell being one of them, are playing, they can flat out run. And that's what makes this defense go. Think about Seattle's defense. Linebackers with length that can flat out fly. Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, they're trying to imitate that with Devondre Campbell and Deion Jones.
Second and 9, up the gut. Rawls spins off a tackle by Jones, and Rawls near a first down. He took a hit and he kept on going, John.
Now, Kevin, this is very much like last week. Look at this big hole that's going to develop right behind Odiombo, who just came in the game. He stays on his block long enough. And the one thing with Thomas Rawls, you're going to have to tackle him. He's a physical runner who runs through tackles. He did so right there.
Third and 1. They'll run it. Rawls. He's got a first down. And the drive continues for Seattle.
You know what I like, Kevin? Ifedi goes out. Odiombo, a rookie, comes in his first playoff game. They run right behind him 2 straight times. I think trying to pump some confidence into him. It's been successful. Looks like he's holding up well.
Well, a good start for the Seahawks. Rawls already 6 carries, 29 yards. 12th play of this drive is coming up. Wilson going to give inside, and it's a good-looking run to McKissick, who doesn't get many of those. J.D. McKissick, only a 2nd carry of the year, but giving Rawls a little bit of a break. Now this is, I'd say, ultra important. Vic Beasley, 15.5 sacks on the year, led the league, and that's the Falcons team doctor checking him out.
And he's so important in this game. You talk about Russell Wilson, his ability to move around. Well, Vic Beasley, he can flat out run. So he's a guy who can chase him down. You need him in the game.
McKissick remains in the backfield, so Rawls is out on a 2nd and 7. No clock at 1. They'll get it off. Wilson, a lot of time coming near side, hits McKissick again. So J.D. McKissick, not used all that often, comes in, makes a couple plays. And you're looking at a 3rd and short.
And Kevin, this is an area where the Atlanta Falcons, we talk about their improved defense. This is an area where they've been awful all year. The red zone, allowing 73% TDs in the red zone, the worst in the league. They've got to tighten up to be successful in this playoff run.
Obviously down here, you always look at Jimmy Graham, number 88, who's in the slot. 14th play of the drive. Third down, Wilson fires near side. Touchdown! It's Graham.
Real nice call by you, Kevin, and I like what Darrell Bevel, the offensive coordinator, did. You open up the formation, it's going to reveal really quick what coverage they're in. You see them in their zone defense. Let's take Jimmy Graham to the flat and see if Keanu Neal can tackle him. Jimmy Graham and that big body gets in the end zone. Impressive championship-like opening drive for the Seattle Seahawks.
That was some drive. 14 plays, 89 yards. Keep an eye on this. Stephen Hauschka, who is normally a very reliable kicker, has missed 7 extra points on the year, most in the league. This one is up and good. What a statement from the Seahawks. Jimmy Graham with the punctuation. An opening drive touchdown. And in Atlanta, it's Seattle 7. Atlanta getting the ball when we're back.
And is sponsored by Chevrolet. More J.D. Power initial quality awards than any other brand. 4 years in a row.
Well, how do you keep the #1 offense in check? You just hold the ball forever. A 14-play drive took 8.5 minutes. And remember, Seattle had a penalty on the kickoff, John. That was impressive.
You know, Kevin, one of the things, Atlanta won the toss and then deferred. When you're the best offense in football, when you're scalding hot and when you tend to score early in games, I question giving Seattle the ball. 14 plays, I think they answered.
And a strong start from Seattle. Hauschka with the kick. It's deep, and it is not going to be returned. And so we will see Matt Ryan and this #1 offense on the field next. But so far, it's Jimmy Graham with the spike. And if you're an offensive coordinator, you get a kiss and a hug.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. By Burger King. Get any size coffee, hot or iced, for just 99 cents. And by Samsung Pay. Turn your phone into your wallet.
Great shots of Atlanta. And now we see Matt Ryan and this #1 offense for the Falcons on the field. You see Ryan scorching hot the last 4 games of the regular season.
Yeah, like I said, he's been outstanding all year. I think he really earned that MVP at the end of this year. The way he finished, so impressive. Matt Ryan's always been a really good player. He took it to great this year.
And now we'll see if he can do it in the playoffs. Here's Freeman. Good start for Devontae Freeman in this run game for Atlanta, who most people don't realize he's been a 1,000-yard back the last 2 years.
And I think that's the thing that not a lot of people realize about this offense. They are very versatile. Matt Ryan has been exceptional. Yes, they have Julio Jones. They have 2 outstanding halfbacks in Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. Very versatile offense in Atlanta.
Julio Jones going in motion. On 2nd and 2, run it again. Freeman stacked up, looking to bounce other side, turns on the speed, and should have a first down for Atlanta. So a nice reversal.
And he's that guy for him. Tevin Coleman, more of the one cut and downhill. Devontae Freeman, you have to defend the whole field because he may and does go anywhere that his vision shows him. He can bounce it all the way back. A great jump cutter. It's a really nice play by Deshaun Shedd, getting to his outside leg and limiting that gain by Freeman.
Well, you talked about Coleman. He's in the game now. Two really dynamic running backs who can both run and both catch. They'll throw it here. Ryan stands in, throws to Marco, the intended receiver. He's the fullback, and it's incomplete. Well, if you haven't seen the Falcons all year, and a lot of you haven't, here's the deal and why they're so good. Almost 34 points a game. That gets it done. Best in the NFL. As a matter of fact, 84 plays of over 20 yards. That's a monster number again. Best in the NFL. And then 13 players with a touchdown reception. Not only the best in the league, the most in history. And John, the big one. Same 5 guys every single week at O-line. Here's Ryan to throw it. Back pressure, gets it off, and has a completion near side. That's Coleman. And you're going to look at 3rd down coming up.
And I think so much of this game is going to be that matchup right there. Everyone's focused on Julio Jones against Richard Sherman. Can these linebackers of the Seattle Seahawks, who are tremendous in their own right, KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner, Mike Morgan as well, can they deal and tackle the Atlanta running backs when they do catch it? Right there, they did a fine job.
Fascinating to see today whether Richard Sherman follows Julio Jones. And they played last. He did, I don't know, maybe a third of the game. We're on the top of the screen right now. 3rd down. Ryan throws. There's Jones. Stiff arm, and first down for Atlanta. Might as well go to number 11 if you're Matt Ryan and they move the chains.
Well, listen, when you talk about the Atlanta Falcons, you say it's not just Julio anymore. But let me tell you something. Julio's still here, and he's the best receiver in football in my mind. So physical, just freakish athletically, and then incredibly humble that allows them to operate because he's not complaining when he doesn't get the football. An outstanding football player, Julio Jones is, and Matt Ryan knows that that's a mismatch anytime he's out there.
On 1st down, they'll run it. Here's Freeman, stretch. And Freeman's going to pick up about 3 on the play. Bobby Wagner in there, and you see their offense. This is what you were talking about, John, about deferring that opening kick. They have been awesome on the opening drive.
And that just seems like, to me, you're at home. You've got the best offense in football. I understand there's, you know, about more possessions if you defer, but ride your hot hand. Your offense is scalding, just sizzling. They score just about every time they get the ball on the first drive of the game. Let them go out there. They didn't. We'll see if they can answer.
On 2nd down, they'll fake. Blitz picked up, coming near side. It's Jones. He's got it again on Sherman. And another Atlanta first down.
One of the things I love about watching Julio Jones, he is so good in every part of the route. You got to be able to get off the line of scrimmage. There you see it, but watch at the top of the route. You have to fear his speed. And then for a big guy, he can put on the brakes so fast. And that's just tremendous route running and execution by Julio Jones.
That's the thing. He's such a big guy, listed at 6'3", 220, but stops on a dime and another first down. So Atlanta on the move. Coleman in the backfield. From the 40, a little trickery coming near side. This is Hardy on the reverse, and Seattle played that well with Michael Bennett all over.
Michael Bennett, not only an extremely disruptive player, he's a really smart football player. And he chases very hard, so they think they can get him. But he, like I said, he's in his playbook. He's done his preparation, gets to that outside leg, and that keeps Justin Hardy. See the exchange, a little loose with the ball, but Michael Bennett, just a fine football player, and that's a fine play.
Second down. 4-man rush. Ryan gets rid of it. He's got Hooper, the tight end, and another first down. They've missed him. He's been out with an MCL sprain the last couple of games, but he converts there.
They missed him, Kevin, because what he brings speed to the tight end position, and he's deceptively fast. I watch him. He went to my alma mater, Stanford University. I've been watching him for years. People will think he can't run, and he just keeps running by people. Sooner or later, they're going to wake up to the fact that this young man can really, really run.
Julio Jones back in the game. Looks like they're going to run it to Coleman. Bounces off a tackle. Straight forward down to the 25. So a 5-yard run on first down.
Look at most of this quarter already gone. 2 impressive drives by these offenses to start out the game.
Seattle went on a 14-play drive. Their longest of the year, by the way, to open it. Now here's Atlanta. This will be the 11th play of the drive. 35 seconds ago in this first quarter. Second down. Pressure. Ryan steps up. Looking, firing, and he's got a completion on the far side of the field. It's Coleman. He's going to be shy of a first down, so a 3rd and short is coming up. We have a penalty as well down at the 10, and this may be on Seattle.
Take a look at Julio Jones and Richard Sherman. You see the hold, likely going to be that on Richard Sherman.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 25. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic first down. Please reset the game clock to 16 seconds. 1-6 on the game clock, please.
You know, Kevin, when we visited with the Atlanta Falcons the other day, both Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan, the offensive coordinator, said, look, we're not going to complain about calls. When you play Seattle, you know you're going to get held on every play. Beat it. Kyle Shanahan's dad, Mike Shanahan, I played for him. I used to hear him all the time. You can't beat man coverage. You're complaining about holding, start selling cars. That's part of the job.
So a big penalty and a first down. Ryan will throw it out of the backfield. It's Freeman. Looking to make a move. Freeman. And he's tackled inside the 15. Going to get him down to about the 12. And that'll take us to the end of this first quarter. Offensive getting the ball. They're not giving it up. But Seattle struck first with a long touchdown drive. Here come the Falcons on the move. 7-0 after 1. Watch every live NFL playoff game in HD and data free on NFL Mobile. We start the second quarter. Glad to have you aboard from Atlanta. Hey, look, that's kind of a Hollywood Squares look. Chris Richard, the defensive coordinator on top. Kyle Shanahan, top left. And then you see he's directing the offense. Richard, Bobby Wagner giving him the call for the defense. And that's where we stand. Opening drive. This is still the opening drive for Atlanta because Seattle scored on theirs. One possession each. A little flip to Coleman, who corrals it, makes a man miss. Look at Coleman go. What a run. That looked like it was going to lose 5 yards, and instead it's a 1st and goal.
That's what speed does for you. When you've got that kind of speed, you get people moving really fast to the flank. Watch Jeremy Lane. He's going to come up on the perimeter, and he thinks, I got to fly so he doesn't get outside me. That gives that cutback. Talked about the one-cut runner. He can really stick his foot in the ground and get downhill. It's exactly what he does right there.
We showed you Atlanta will go anywhere with the football. 13 different Falcons have caught a touchdown this year. 1st and goal. Ryan going to come to Jones. Touchdown.
Kevin, I'd say that's a pretty nice answer.
Yeah.
And we could talk so much about how good they are when they aren't throwing to Julio, and that's been a big development this year. That's Julio Jones. You got to feed that guy. And you just see the brute strength, size, speed, all of it. Then the humility. He lets his offensive lineman, Andy Levitra, spike the football to finish that drive.
Julio Jones, what a start to this game. And now Matt Bryant with the extra point to try and tie it. And Bryant punches it home. Each team has had one possession. Each team has a touchdown. Richard Sherman says, hey, come on, penalty. Julio Jones says, we're tired. How do we start this game, John Lynch? Seattle with a 14-play touchdown drive. Atlanta with a 13-play touchdown drive. We're already into the second quarter.
Yeah, both offenses came out, looked at the defense, and said, how about that?
They really tried to stick it to him on that drive and get into Julio Jones. He caught a fade pass at the end in the New Orleans game, end of the regular season. He said, I'm not going to cry for the ball down there, but it's one-on-one. I'll take it, like just there. And Seattle, here's Hester going to take it out from deep in the end zone. Hester, Devin Hester. What a return from the former Falcon. He took a chance by taking it out from deep in the end zone, but all the way out to the 45-yard line. And so let the uppercuts keep coming. A 50-yard return from Hester. It's Seattle football. We're tied at 7.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Nissan. Innovation that excites. By the $10 any pizza carryout deal, only at Pizza Hut. And by Miller Lite, the original light beer.
On Sunday, February 5th, Pepsi presents the biggest concern of the year, the Pepsi Zero Sugar Super Bowl 51 halftime show. To follow Lady Gaga on her journey to the world's biggest stage, visit PepsiHalftime.com. Second quarter in Atlanta, tied at 7. Seattle with their second possession. On a first down, Wilson to throw. A lot of time. Thinking about running, and he's going to do just that. And he's cut off at about the 48. Let's go back to the touchdown. We saw Richard Sherman, John, calling for offensive pass interference.
And talking to Mike Pereira during the break, I think he's got a point. Watch Mohamed Sanu, 2 yards down the line of scrimmage. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's offensive pass interference. Key is the block occurred more than a yard downfield, and it was the ball was not touched at that time. So since the touch came after the block, should have been OPI.
Very interesting. Mike, thanks. John, good catch. Touchdown stood, though. Vic Beasley back on the field for Atlanta. We saw him go out. The hand injury, number 44. Second down. Wilson stands in, lost one deep for Richardson. He's got it. We got a penalty flag. Richardson going to get on up, diving for the end zone. I didn't see a signal that he was down. And now let's see. Looks like one official. We're waiting here for anything, John.
I don't think Jalen Collins ever touched him. Jalen Collins should know better. He's a second-year player. You got to touch him down. He never did. Paul Richardson wisely got up and put it in the end zone.
There's a penalty back at the 40.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense number 34. Penalty is declined. The ruling on the field was that the receiver caught the football on the ground, was not touched down by contact, and the result is a touchdown.
Wow. So the penalty on Atlanta.
Now, he does touch him. I think he's going to be down right at that point. Jalen Collins right there hits him on the hip. He's clearly down, and I think that one will come back.
Well, bringing Mike Pereira on this one. Mike, I guess for the officials, you make the call like that because if you rule them down, you can't change it, right?
Yeah, and I'd rather they make the call this way. You know, it's kind of interesting. At first, when I saw it, I thought maybe he touched the towel.
Yeah.
But the towel doesn't put you down. But here's a clear shot. He's down. They'll bring it back.
See if we get the call here from Gene Steratore.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed. The receiver does catch the football. However, he is touched down by contact at the 19-yard line on the hash mark nearest Seattle's bench. It will be Seattle's ball, 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line, and the clock will start on the ready for play.
Tell you what, though, so no touchdown, but a 33-yard gain. Richardson, John's amazing. We did the game. Tyler Lockett broke his leg. Scary injury, and Richardson was really a forgotten man in this offense. Well, since you come into this one, last 3 games, 11 catches, 2 touchdowns, and he was circus catch after circus catch last week.
Last week he had 3, 2 one-handed, the other a marvelous catch. The thing he has speed, but Russell Wilson said some guys are track guys that have that kind of speed. He's a football player, playing very well for them.
Forget he was a second-round pick, but he had some injury history, and it just never really allowed him to get going after a good start to his career. And so a 1st and 10 after the big play. Seattle at the Atlanta 19. Wilson pressure, and Wilson is decked. Brooks Reed came in with the help of some others too.
Yeah, Brooks Reed going to be right there working against Gary Gilliam. And Odiombo, the rookie. You see a rookie's pressed in. He's a tackle. He's a guard. He's been playing well. He just got exposed. He didn't pick up his responsibility. Brooks Reed makes sure he brings down Russell Wilson with authority.
And so that makes it a 2nd and 17. Wilson steps up, firing over the middle. He's got Graham, the tight end, who falls forward down to the 15 and brings up a very makeable 3rd down.
Kevin, you look at Jimmy Graham. We all remember him from New Orleans, where he was so prolific, and it was going to be different in Seattle. They don't throw as much as the New Orleans Saints does. Of late, I think they've been figuring out how to use him, and Russell Wilson's been figuring out that even when he's covered, he's really not covered. They're really starting to develop a great chemistry between each other.
Thomas Rawls lines up top of the screen, the running back. Now they bring him back. Play clock winding down. They get it off. Wilson going to throw a fade for Baldwin. A little too far, and it's incomplete. Allen came over to help. And it looks like field goal time for Seattle.
One of the things as a safety you want to do is let receivers feel you. We've seen Earl Thomas do it so much. Ricardo Allen, tremendous job ranging, inaccurate throw, but believe me, Doug Baldwin feels Ricardo Allen as he demonstrates great range.
So now Stephen Hauschka will try a 33-yard field goal. Again, he's been so reliable for years, but the short ones, he's only missed 4 all year, 2 of them within 30 yards. This is from 33. Snap and hold are good, and that one is perfect. So Hauschka delivers. That field goal puts Seattle in front, 10-7, 2nd quarter. We're back. So we've had 3 possessions in this game and 3 scores and a couple long drives too. That time Seattle with a big play to Richardson, and then Hauschka with a field goal, and they lead 10-7.
Kevin, when you have a great offense that you're opposing, the best defense sometimes is a really good offense and controlling the ball. Seattle's doing the exact thing you have to do to counter an offense like this that's going to score. You keep them off the field. They've done a marvelous job of it.
Seattle's had the ball for 11.5 minutes already. Not even 5 minutes into the 2nd quarter as Weems takes a knee, and the Falcons will have it for the 2nd time from their own 25. Well, Matt Ryan, see what he did on the opening touchdown drive, and that brings us to this. The Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes NFL players who have made a significant impact on both the game and in their communities, and is considered one of the league's most prestigious honors. This year's nominee for the Atlanta Falcons is Matt Ryan. The 3 finalists will be announced during the NFC Championship game, and the winner announced at the NFL Honors Award show. That'll be February 4th, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here on Fox, as Falcons are started off from the 25 with Coleman in the backfield. And they'll give it to Coleman. Not much. Gets across the 25. For a gain of 2.
Kevin, these guys, as we know, met in week 6 out in Seattle. And the lasting memory after I watched that film was that the Seattle defense really took it to Matt Ryan. Pressured him 19 times. It was clearly the most all season for Matt Ryan. They weren't just hitting him, they were hitting him hard. The Atlanta Falcons, Matt Ryan said a lot of that was noise and problems with communication. We'll see if they can do them better. Protecting Matt Ryan, it's essential.
Pressure, Ryan in trouble, gets rid of it. Toilolo makes the catch. On cue, Ryan gets hit, but he gets rid of it, and it's a 1st down for Atlanta.
Levine Toilolo, out of nowhere, of late, has become a receiving threat. He used to be the blocking guy. You see Cliff Averill hitting his arm. Part of being the MVP, a little luck. The ball goes downfield to Toilolo. They're very lucky Averill didn't hit it out of his arm.
And that was actually ruled incomplete. As we look at the replays, John, yeah, that's a good call. So it looked from up here, the initial looked like he would caught it, but indeed it did hit the ground. And an incomplete pass, that'll come back. So now moving on back for Atlanta.
Good job by Gene Steratore and his crew. They called it a catch. They got together. They got the call right.
And now a 3rd down and 8. Ryan has time, gonna let it fly, going deep for Coleman, and he just threw it too far. Tried to hit Coleman out of the backfield, but Stephen Terrell, who has the unenviable task of replacing Earl Thomas with good coverage.
But one quality he does have, Stephen Terrell, he can fly. He's very, very fast. Pete Carroll went out of his way. Is he Earl Thomas? No, he does not have the instinct, the playmaking ability, but he can run, and he just matched the speed of a very fast man in Tevin Coleman.
So here's Devin Hester, the former Falcon, and the Seahawks picked him up late, just before the playoffs. And you're wondering if they had anything left. Well, what's today show us?
The first 2 kickoff returns would indicate that he does have some juice. I asked Brian Schneider, the special teams coach for the Seahawks, that exact question. Does he have anything left? And he said, just watch. He does.
20 special teams touchdown, an NFL record. There's a penalty. Hester spinning, looking for a seam. Devin Hester turning on the Jets. Hester. Devin Hester inside the 10. It's a rebirth, but there's a penalty back near where the punt occurred. So wait and let's see. Looks like 2008, John, with Hester. Oh, my.
He may be a Hall of Fame player as a returner. Everyone just assumed he was done. And after last week, he didn't do much to change anyone's mind. Today, I think he's doing a real good job of that.
He's got a 50-yard kickoff return in this game. That's a 79-yard punt return, but let's see what the penalty is. Richard Sherman there, don't know.
I think the penalty that they called occurred much earlier in the play down on the other side.
Pretty big call early in this one.
During the kick, holding receiving team number 58. That penalty will be enforced from the spot of the end of the kick, half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Seattle.
Negates a 79-yard return.
It's Kevin Pierre-Louis, a really good special teams player. But now with the Seahawks, you got something else to worry about. There he is right there, Kevin Pierre-Louis. Bringing him down, and Devin Hester dejected. All that work twice brought back today. Remember, the opening kickoff brought back with the penalty.
That's true.
There it is. He's working against Larry Reynolds and brings him down to the ground. Good job by the officials.
So instead of Seattle being inside the 10, they're one way. They're inside the 10 the other way. My goodness, what a penalty. 10:13 to go in this first half. 10-7 Seahawks over the Falcons as the NFL Divisional playoffs kicking off from Atlanta. Here is Thomas Rawls. Absorbs a hit, and he goes nowhere. Swarming to the ball. Brooks Reed started it.
How about Brooks Reed? He's been quiet all year, and watch him penetrate. Nothing kills a running game like penetration. He beats Jimmy Graham to the spot, and here comes his buddies getting Thomas Rawls before he ever can start. And there comes the rest of the Atlanta Falcons defense.
John, I think the Falcons are the only team that puts an offensive lineman in on defense consistently. Ben Garland, number 63, is in there from the Air Force. 2nd and long. Wilson falls down in the end zone. Safety.
I think it's Ben Garland who got him.
Unbelievable.
There's Ben Garland. over the center, Justin Britt, and Odiombo, the rookie, filling in for Ifedi, steps on the foot of Russell Wilson. Ben Garland right on the spot, securing the safety, but Odiombo now starting to get exposed a little bit in the interior of that Seattle offensive line.
Hey, how many backup centers can get you a safety? In all fairness, he was a defensive player for most of college. Making a difference.
I love that about Dan Quinn. He'll use anybody at any spot. They were struggling in their run defense earlier this year. They asked Ben Garland to help out, and he's come in and done it, and there he gets paid off. And again, watch Odiombo on that right foot of Russell Wilson. Falls into the end zone. I think that's a clear safety.
Think about this. That's an 84-yard change of field position. 84 yards when Hester returned it inside the 10. You bring it back, and now you got a safety. What a change.
It was interesting. Yesterday, we talked with the Seattle Seahawks. Cam Chancellor, he left something very poignant in my mind. Game like this, it's very evenly matched. We each know each other. Who's going to make the least mistakes? We're starting to see the mistakes pile up for the Seattle Seahawks.
And so, with the safety, Atlanta will get the ball back, too. And we get a whistle. This will not count. Hang on. So they blew the whistle before Ryan got that kick off. Don't know if Gene Steratore actually blew the whistle to start the play. Maybe that's what happened here. And so we'll do it again. Again, after the safety, you got the free kick from the 20-yard line. So a 10-9 game now here in Atlanta.
John Ryan says, come on, Gene, can we hurry this process up?
Just so you know, kick it before the whistle, put the ball in play. It's not a penalty. You just have to do it again. And he does it again. And here is Weems. Up to the 35. Weems with a good return. Out across the 40. And Chancellor is there on the stop.
Kevin, you made a great point. The penalty, mistakes, they're going to kill you at this point of the season. You see Pierre Lewis bring Larry Reynolds to the ground. It negates the huge return from Devin Hester. And then we see the resulting safety. So what a swing of events.
And then on the opposite side of the field, you get this. You get your rookie who's filling in at the right side, Odiombo, because Ifedi got hurt, and then Garland gives him a big push. And you got a safety in a one-point game.
You know, Kevin, people talk about why continuity on the offensive line is so important. It's little things like that. It's understanding that I've got to step not that fast. You see Pete Carroll putting out a fire over there on the sideline. We're used to that in Seattle. It's all good.
And so Atlanta 1st and 10. Here's Ryan. Stands in. Guns one incomplete. It's Gabriel the speedster. Taylor Gabriel down inside the 25 to the 21. It's a gain of 37.
We've seen Julio Jones make his imprint today. The difference with the Atlanta Falcons, guys like this. Speed on the other side of the on the football from Julio Jones, and what speed, what a throw by Matt Ryan. Right on the spot, allows for the yards after the catch. Taylor Gabriel's been absolutely huge. Got cut by the Cleveland Browns, and he's had a tremendous year for these Atlanta Falcons.
Believe it or not, he had more touchdowns in the regular season than Julio Jones did. 7 total, yeah, right? And so a 1st and 10 from the 20. There you go, Freeman out of the eye. Here's Freeman. Oh, what a hit there. That's Deshaun Shedd, who you don't hear about because he plays in this star-studded secondary, but I know you think he's been real good.
I think he's had an outstanding season. He plays opposite of Richard Sherman, so you're going to see a lot of action. Remember, a former safety, so he's got the physical component as well. He's had a really fine year. This is an interesting matchup all day long. I talked about it. Bobby Wagner against Devontae Freeman.
Ryan looking the other way now. Pressured and taken down for a sack. It's Michael Bennett who brings him down.
Watch Michael Bennett go to work against Jake Matthews. Just power rush. He's such a powerful player. For a guy that's not that big, he plays with tremendous leverage. He can beat you with speed, but remember, this is a guy who goes inside and rushes, so he's obviously got that power. He put it on Jake Matthews right there.
Keep in mind, last time they met in week 6, Bennett got hurt, and Jake Matthews cut blocked him. He missed 5 weeks, and now Bennett does move inside over the center. 3rd down and 14 now. Ryan standing in, dumps it to Freeman, spins, but he's taken down by right, and that will be shy of a 1st down. And now a little extracurricular here with Freeman and Frank Clark going at it. It'll be a 4th down. Looks like a field goal try. That's the bottom line.
Devontae Freeman very lucky. He pushed Frank Clark at the end of this play. Now you don't know what's being said, what's being done, but that very easily could have been an unsportsmanlike contact right there by Devontae Freeman. Usually a really poised player. You got to keep your emotions in check in these playoff games.
Now here's Matt Bryant, who at 41 years old made his first career Pro Bowl. He's been outstanding. This is a 35-yard field goal try to give Atlanta the lead. And Bryant does just that, and the Falcons have their first lead of the afternoon. The safety, and then the drive and the field goal. And Freeman could get a little earful here after that. But Atlanta takes the lead. 12-10 your score. We are back from Atlanta. 12-10 Falcons NFL divisional round here in the NFC. Fun game so far, along with John Lynch and Mike Pereira up in the booth. We've got Peter Schrager, Pam Oliver on the sidelines. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Great to have you along. This is the way that things went with the Hester return, the penalty, and all of a sudden the Falcons have the lead. Long way to go. There's 6:06 in this first set. Here's Hester. Probably just wants to have one without a penalty.
You know, Kevin, I think one thing that's important after that safety, a great response by that Seattle defense, keeping them to a field goal.
We have a penalty flag, John, far side of the field. At least I think it's a penalty. And that is Fetty coming back in the game. We saw Odiambo get beat for the safety. Maybe that's
offside. Kicking team number 53. He's on the play as a touchback. The 5-yard penalty will be added from the 25 to the 30. 1st down, Seattle.
All right, let's go down to the Seahawks sideline. Say hello to Peter Schrager.
Hey, Kevin. Look, Jermaine Ifedi severely hurt his ankle on that first drive. He's been working on it the entire game since then. Debating with coaches, debating with the doctors. He's out there. But, guys, he is hobbling, so keep an eye on him. Ifedi, sore ankle. Keep it watching the whole time through.
Yeah, I wonder if that last safety kind of inched him back in there.
It has a tendency to do that, especially this time of year. You want your guys in there. That's one of the reasons I believe the Seattle line's starting to play better of late. They've got continuity for the first time in a long time. The same group's been playing. You want to keep that group in.
Here's Wilson going to throw the ball and complete it. It's Richardson far side, and he's out across the 35.
Well, it's a young group of defenders in Atlanta, and they had a clear bust that Seattle really didn't take as much advantage of. No one was out there covering Paul Richardson. Russell Wilson just picked it up and smartly threw it out to him for the 6-yard gain. You see Robert Alford saying, help me out. Nobody else was there. They did a nice job of rallying to the football to limit the game.
A lot of movement here. So Jimmy Graham splits out to the bottom of the screen. They'll put Alford on him. 2nd and 4. Run it. Rawls spins off a tackle, but then Jones wrestles him to the ground after only a gain of 1.
One thing I've noticed throughout the year with this Seattle offensive line, when you give them movement, they really struggle. You give them anything with movement. We've seen Brooks Reed get in the backfield. Right there, it was Babineau who got in the backfield. They're getting to Thomas Rawls before he can ever get going.
Seahawks 3 of 4 on 3rd down to start this one. 3rd and 3. 4-man rush, firing near side. Baldwin, and this spot's going to be critical. Let's see where they put this football. Looks to be a little bit shy, as Alford had a good tackle.
Kevin, that's a great tackle by Robert Alford. Doug Baldwin makes a living out of breaking tackles just like that. Alford holds on for dear life, stops him short of the line to gain. I think it's a great spot, and he is indeed short.
Looked like he was trying, Johnny, just to reach out, but because he had the arm, he couldn't reach the football for it, and that was the saver, as you pointed out. So they'll punt on the 4th and less than 1. Ryan to punt it away. Ryan gets it away. Here's Weems. Gonna let it bounce. And takes a good Seattle bounce. Look at this. All the way down inside the 1. Nico Thorpe got down there and made the play, but it was Ryan with the outstanding punt. 60 yards on the punt. But the defense for Atlanta gets the ball back for them. 3:48 to go in the half. Falcons in front. Pro Bowl's headed to Orlando. Watch your favorite NFL stars compete in the 2017 Pro Bowl. Presented by Aquafina, with celebration, entertainment, and a return to the traditional AFC versus NFC format. You won't want to miss it. Tune in Sunday, January 29th, 8 Eastern, and check out the new Pro Bowl Skills Showdown on Thursday, January 26th at 7 Eastern. That's on ESPN. 12-10 Falcons lead the Seahawks. 3:48 to go in this first half. NFC Divisional playoff from Atlanta. Look where they start. Atlanta has done this before, gone on long drives. But here's Ryan. Blitz coming. Ryan sees it, gets rid of it, unloads it, and he's got a completion to Julio Jones out to the 9-yard line. John, this team is unfazed by starting in their own end zone. Look at this. 10 scores on drives starting inside the 10. It's way more than anyone else.
And one of the things I think they do, Kevin, we just saw them throw from the end zone. They don't play scared. They attack people. When you have great weapons, that's how you should play. Matt Ryan said the first thing Dan Quinn said to the team, offense, defense, we're going to be the best attacking offense in football, the best attacking defense. They attack people.
Second down, they'll throw it. Ryan pumps, now comes back to Coleman over the middle, and Coleman has himself a first down.
Shouldn't it be a surprise that these backs are catching a lot of balls? Jimmy Johnson said it in the pregame show. During the regular season, 85 catches between the two of them, Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman.
Think about this. Between those two, they had almost 2,500 combined yards and 24 touchdowns. That's a crazy number. Here's Ryan going to throw deep for Sanu. Just let him too far. Incomplete. And a 2nd and 10. You know, Matt Ryan, look, he's been to the playoffs before, John. He's 1-4. Heard about that a million times this week. But he was pretty honest. He said this week was different for him.
It was. And, you know, I think he's learned from all that experience. One of the things people ask, does it matter in the playoffs? I think when you have a bye week, it does. How do you stay in rhythm? And he said what was important for him was to do just that, stay in rhythm. I asked him how. He said, if you were hurt, go ahead, take your rest. Julio Jones was one of those guys. If you're healthy, I want you full speed, because he needed to keep that chemistry. Remember, we said they've been scalding hot. How do you keep it? You keep running fast. That's what they did.
Do that same routine. Ryan, the play clock winding down, stands in, lost one near side. Same play, different result. It's Sanu who comes through on Jeremy Lane. And a first down for Atlanta. And a pickup of 21.
How good is that throw? We saw him misfire, but it's not going to happen again. You just can't put it in a better. And you see the strength of Mohamed Sanu bringing that in on a great effort by Jeremy Lane to get his hand there and rip it out. That's where that strength comes in.
Ryan 11 of 15, 126 yards and a touchdown to start. Approaching the 2-minute warning with this last play on. Back near side. That was dangerous. Deshaun Shedd smelled end zone there, but he does break up the play. And we have hit the 2-minute warning from Atlanta. It's been back and forth. Even had a safety involved. And it's the Falcons in front by 2 with under 2 to go. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. 12-10, your score. Sorry, John.
No, that last play we saw Deshaun Shedd nearly have an interception. He could have gone to the house. When you look at Seattle, they have a safety in the middle of the field. called 3 deep most of the time, 90% of the time. Right there, they threw a little change up at cover 2, and I don't think Matt Ryan could believe his eyes. Nearly threw a pick. Hard to fool Matt Ryan. Chris Richard, the defensive coordinator, just did.
And so it brings up a 2nd and 10. The 4-man rush, pocket collapsing, firing, it's Gabriel. First down. Climbing the pocket extremely well is Ryan and connecting for a gain of 18.
That's great pocket presence. Moving in the pocket, finding Gabriel, who finds the soft spot in the zone. Matt Ryan's done it all year, and he's bringing it today.
Time really not a factor, John. Each team with all 3 timeouts here. So with 1:34 to left in the half, plenty of time. Ryan standing over the middle. Sanu's got it. He's inside the 35. That's another Atlanta first down and a gain of 12.
Seattle seemingly all right to just let them catch it in front of them and then make the tackle, but they've been tightening up as Atlanta gets further down the field. We'll see if they can do it again.
Another quick throw. This is Julio Jones. Gets up. Still inside the 20. Inside the 15. These quick throws are giving Seattle some trouble here.
These quick receivers are too. And Julio Jones, he's 220 pounds. What an athletic move. What caught me, he went to the ground, but watch how quick he gets up. Matt Ryan on point again. He goes down. Look how fast he's up. And he's out the door as if he's running a 100-yard dash. Julio Jones, an incredible athlete, incredible player. It's all on display today.
Cam Chancellor on Julio Jones yesterday when we met with him said, he takes the roof off. That's one way to put it. And here come the Falcons with under a minute to go. And we get a whistle. We have a timeout on the field. And with that, why don't we check in with Kurt Menefee.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the road to Super Bowl 51 is well underway. And we'll take a look at the first half of this game, along with checking in with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman as they get ready for tomorrow's huge contest between Green Bay and Dallas. It's all coming up at the half.
There you go, guys. We'll see you in just a minute as we welcome you back to Atlanta. Hey, good to see you. John Lynch is here, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Atlanta's getting a little rhythm now with this quick passing game.
Yeah, they are. And Matt Ryan, I love the up-tempo to get him going a little bit more. Seattle's doing what they do. You're going to get some yards. They're tough to score on. And so they've done a great job of limiting the damage. They got to continue to do it because once this offense gets hot, it's hard to stop them.
Yeah, they are. They are the #1 offense in the league, averaging almost 34 points a game. 59 seconds to go in the half. 2 timeouts left for Atlanta after that one. 4-man rush. Ryan dancing, firing, wide open, touchdown. It's Coleman.
There's something called pocket presence. Watch Matt Ryan. You get a little pressure inside, take 2 shuffles to the left, eyes downfield. We talked about the backs, how good they are in the pass game. Tevin Coleman, wide open. Matt Ryan with the easy touchdown.
And so Matt Ryan with another touchdown drive. That's his 2nd touchdown pass of the game, and it's Coleman with a little dance at the end of it too. And now Matt Bryant trying to add the extra point. Bryant is up and good, and another drive that started inside the 10. 9 plays, 99 yards. It's the 11th scoring drive that started inside their own 10 this year.
They almost like it. You know,
crazy.
When you're great, you love challenges. And Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons have been embracing the challenges. We're backed up. We're coming after you. They just did for 99 yards.
And it's a 19-10 game. Just think about where this game was just a little bit ago before that penalty that returned to Hester. And here's that play.
Tevin Coleman coming out of the backfield. Kyle Shanahan so smart. He runs what you call a scissors concept. Gabriel goes to the post. That pulls the corner shed to the middle of the field. Tevin Coleman exposes his defense to the corner.
Kyle Shanahan, who has been interviewing for head coaching positions. There's only one job left now, the 49ers, but I don't know if he's going to get one of those this year. I know you think he's been the best offensive coordinator in football.
Oh, I think he should. You know, Kyle, I think he goes in these production, or excuse me, interviews, and maybe comes off a little confident, a little arrogant. I don't care. I want an arrogant coach. I want a confident coach. I'd be hiring that guy in a second.
To kick things off. And Hester, who's taken him out all day, is going to do it again from 9 yards deep. Here's Hester looking at the edge, and we get a flag, and that probably coming back, and Seattle's going to start deep in their own territory with 48 seconds to go in this first half and all 3 timeouts left.
Special teams, flags, penalties, killing the Seattle Seahawks with field position.
During the return, holding return team number 53, half the distance to the goal. First down, Seattle.
There he is right there. You put a big boy in space. Joey Hunt back up center. And when you put him in space, they tend to panic a little and grab. Joey Hunt did right there.
Penalties on special teams. That's the 3rd special teams penalty on Seattle today. And so 48 seconds, 3 timeouts, but a long way to go. They start on their own 8s. Alex Collins is in the game of running back, and he'll get his first carry of the day across the 10. And he'll get 4. And we get a whistle to stop the clock. The clock's still going. So no timeout being called. Looks like Seattle is just content maybe running this thing out into the break. Thought I heard a whistle up here.
One thing you know about Seattle, Kevin, they don't go away. So many games that we've done over the years, they're down. Last year against Carolina in the playoffs, down huge. They made it a game. They always do, so expect that in the second half.
Five seconds left in the half. This is Collins with a good hole across the 20, and that will do it for half number 1. And these Seahawks find themselves down in Atlanta 19-10. It's the Falcons in front of this one. Coming up after the break, we've got Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy with a Visa halftime show preview of the Packers and Cowboys. At the break, it's Atlanta in front. Today's excitement is brought to you by the new Nissan Titan.
One game, one desire, one flame, one bonfire, let it burn higher. I never show signs of fatigue or turn tired, cause I'm the definition of tragedy turned triumph.
That was today's excitement, brought to you by the new Nissan Titan. As we're at the break, about to start quarter number 3, and it's 19-10. The Falcons over the Seahawks in this NFC Divisional playoff here on a Saturday afternoon. Glad to have you for the second half. John Lynch is here, and I'm Kevin Burkhardt. This Falcons offense got a little steam, and so did their defense, because Seattle, after a great start, got quiet.
They really did. They answered, and the thing I'm telling my team, if I'm Dan Quinn, keep the pedal to the metal. Keep attacking, and let's finish this game. Seattle doesn't go away, and if I'm Pete Carroll, I'm telling them, guys, we're hurting ourselves. These penalties, blown coverages, we got to stop beating ourselves, and we'll get back in this game.
Yeah, 3 special teams penalties. One of them reversed the field 84 yards. Not only did that, but then led to a safety. So it really changed the whole momentum of this first half. And remember, Atlanta won the toss and deferred, so they will get the ball to start things off, and they will get it on their own 25. Let's go down to the Seattle sideline with Peter Schrager.
Kevin, I just spoke with Pete Carroll coming out of the locker room. I said, hey, you know, is the veteran what you need here? You've got the experience. Do you lean on that at halftime? He said we got to play good, solid football. But there was no rah-rah crazy speech. This team knows what they have to do. They've been here before, and they're going to come out strong in the second half. Kevin, no big injuries to report. Back to you.
All right, Peter, thank you. Great to have you with us today. Leaders for the Falcons, Matt Ryan, 190 yards, passing 2 touchdowns. And out of the backfield, Freeman and Coleman factors, even when they don't catch the ball. Look at this little pistol formation to start out this half. And give it to Freeman. Short cut, and another one. And with that, let's go down to the Falcons sideline with Pam Oliver.
Hey there, Kevin. Well, the Falcons offense really firing on all cylinders. So my question to Dan Quinn was about the defense. He said we took some shots early and it really ticked our players off. He also said his reason to defer to start the game, it's become a philosophy. They want to have the ball to start the second half and see what they can do. Back to you.
And we'll do just that. Ryan's going to let it fly. Someone fell down and complete. He was going for Gabriel and Shedd's hurt. Grasping that knee.
And that's big because we talked in the first half how well Deshaun Shedd's been playing. You never like to see that when there's no contact and they buckle. But remember, this is a secondary playing without their best player, Earl Thomas, already. Now, if you take Deshaun Shedd out of the equation, it gets even tougher.
Injury timeout here in Atlanta.
Game is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Taco Bell's $1 double stack tacos.
There's Deshaun Shedd, who a non-contact injury, and he's walking, but honestly, that doesn't mean anything. It went down in a heap. He's out there, and now DeAndre Elliott, number 21, he's a rookie, free agent from Colorado State. He'll take his place. Third down and 8 for the Falcons.
Don't be surprised to see Matt Ryan go right after the rookie DeAndre Elliott.
He's on Taylor Gabriel. Ryan's going to throw it. Instead, look at Julio Jones. Sherman on him. Didn't matter. First down.
We asked Matt Ryan about that very matchup, and he said no disrespect to Richard Sherman. He's a great corner, but I like Julio versus anyone, as well he should. Julio Jones putting on a show here today. See them get in that bunch formation, creates some traffic, pulls Richard Sherman off the line. He's known for his bump and run. Kyle Shanahan continuing to design plays that are really tough to defend.
And a first down. Here's Freeman right up the gut and gets swallowed up by Cliff Averill. Averill made his first Pro Bowl in his 9th year. And finally the Seahawks felt he got recognized for what's been a pretty good career.
He's had an outstanding year, outstanding career. The one thing I'll say about Cliff Averill, he's a better player when they play in Seattle because of that get off with the noise. 9 sacks in Seattle this year, 4.5 on the road.
Fake to Coleman. Ryan lets it fly. Incomplete. He was looking for Aldrick Robinson. And just led him a little too far.
That's something that we have barely seen this year. Matt Ryan not hitting Aldrick Robinson, the open receiver, but this is big. Julio Jones, he's been hurting with a toe. He sat out last week during the bye week. But he said he was all right. You just got to wonder, with the helmet off, kind of limping around that sideline.
He's not on third down. I don't know how all right he is right now. Yeah, with a toe injury, it made him miss 2 weeks. He told us the other day he felt great. That bears watching. 3rd and 10. Ryan gets pressure, now lost near side. What an adjustment from Gabriel. He came back to make the catch, and it's good for an Atlanta first down and a gain of 12.
Kevin, and who did he go after? DeAndre Elliott, the rookie from Colorado State. Taylor Gabriel shows him his speed, slams on the brakes. Elliott flies right by, and Matt Ryan just kind of throws it up there, anticipating Taylor Gabriel winning, and Gabriel with really nice concentration bringing that throw in.
He missed the last game of the regular season with a foot injury. Today, 3 catches, 67 yards. And the 7th play of this drive to start the 3rd quarter. Atlanta up by 9. Here's Coleman sprinting through. Coleman, another first down inside the 35.
Just a hard group to stop. They can beat you. We've seen all the receivers. Now watch the run, and this is old school zone running. Outside zone, put the foot in the ground, get downhill. And he carries Stephen Terrell for some extra yards.
Falcons have 252 yards all of a sudden. It's come quickly for them. Trying to add to that. It's Coleman again with another big hole right up the gut. And he's down to the 26. He's going to pick up nearly 8.
Bobby Turner, the running back coach for the Atlanta Falcons, is the same guy who coached in Denver, Terrell Davis. That's the style of running. You stretch, 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 You see someone get cut down on the backside and then you hit it downhill. Tevin Coleman doing it to perfection.
Trying to throw. 3-step drop, gets rid of it quickly and has another completion for a first down. This time it's Hardy, and just everybody's getting involved in this point. That's the 7th Falcon to catch a pass. They're running, they're throwing.
We talked about it in the first half at the end there. You let this offense go and get going. It's like an avalanche. It is hard to stop, and you can feel that avalanche start to wear on the Seattle Seahawks. What's huge right now, keep them out of the end zone.
No doubt. Already a 9-point lead. Seattle again lost to Sean Shedd, the number 2 cornerback, who just got taken off on a cart. Freeman, good cut. Freeman running hard down to the 14. And we get another injured Seahawk. This time it's Michael Bennett.
This offensive line, watch Chester, watch Alex Mack. The key block, you just stretch him, and then Devontae Freeman doing the same thing, and Michael Bennett, arguably the best player on this defense, stays down at the end of this play.
Man, can ill afford to lose him. Bennett being tended to. Injury timeout.
Michael Bennett is going to try to penetrate here, and he just kind of falls down. I can't see much there. They were looking at that hip of his. He was upset about something walking off the field, but there was nothing cheap or illegal by Jake Matthews there. Little history from that Week 6 game, though.
Right, they got hurt. He got hurt on a cut block by Matthews Week 6, so maybe it's just some bad feeling. 2nd down and 4, out of the pistol. And bad snap, goes right to the Falcons anyway. Here's Coleman getting to the edge on 1st down. And a penalty far side of the field. Hang on, this is at the 17. And we'll see what this is all about. There's some talk going on, John. Maybe after that Bennett play, see Averill giving it to Schrader.
Offside. Defense number 93. Penalty of decline, the result of the play. 1st down.
Tony McDaniel jumps off sides, and perhaps that has something to do with the missed snap. Sure it does, by Alex Mack. He tries to guess that count. McDaniel jumps offside. It affects the snap. Seattle continues to hurt themselves with penalties.
I gotta tell you, John, at one point the time of possession of this game was like 11.5 to 4 Seattle. Atlanta has the ball now 19 minutes. Seattle only 15.5. It's really changed. And a 1st and goal coming up with Freeman in the backfield. They go 3 tight ends. Freeman, good cut. Devontae Freeman still going. The signal is he's down inside the 1. What an effort.
Watch at the end of this play. Does the ball come out? That knee's down. He's got the ball. That will stay Atlanta's ball.
2nd and goal, Atlanta.
We'll have Mike Pereira look at it just behind us, see if he agrees. Knees down there.
Left knee down. Nothing to show that that ball's loose.
The question is, does the ball touch the goal line there? I mean, does he cross the plane?
Now the ball's down, his knee's down, and where's the ball at that point?
That's what I mean, yeah.
The one thing I'm starting to really see, Kevin, this defense badly misses Earl Thomas. Another missed tackle by Stephen Terrell there. They're exposing the fact that Earl Thomas is not in the game.
Mike Pereira says good call. 2nd and goal it is. Freeman again tripped up, surging forward. Touchdown. Now it's getting ugly. Some hurt feelings as Seattle getting pushed around.
Got to keep your poise if you're Seattle. This is a volatile team. We've seen it all year, particularly on the defense. Michael Bennett upset, but Atlanta doesn't care because they just put the ball in the end zone again.
Look at the effort from Freeman. Kind of a jackrabbit into the end zone. Now here's the end of this with Bennett and Schrader, the right tackle.
It's physical down there. It's playoff football. You've got to stay poised. You got to keep your head. Seattle's already had too many mistakes. You can't have any more.
Tell you one thing, Atlanta's touchdown drives today, 13 plays, 9 plays, 13 plays. That doesn't happen against Seattle's D very often. Here's Bryant with the extra point. Up and good. And it's a 16-point Atlanta lead. The Falcons rolling at home. Maybe the final game here at the Georgia Dome, and the running backs have been enormous, with Coleman doing some work, and then Freeman finishing it off. 26-10, Atlanta.
It is sponsored by Ram Trucks, America's longest-lasting pickups.
This is Chris Richard, who is letting the defense have it. This is happening right now, and understandably so. Atlanta is doing what they want right now. Falcons 17 touchdowns of 10 touchdown drives of 10 plays or more during the regular season, 2 today, and they had another drive of 9 today. And it just doesn't, you just don't see that against Seattle.
You know, Kevin, I think there was this feeling, this offense that has been so good all year, that they somehow were going to fall apart in the postseason. What led people to believe that? They've been great all year.
It's a great question. There's Hester, and Devin Hester is buried at the 12. It's Joshua Perkins is there. So is Hardy. Tomorrow, the NFC Divisional round excitement continues on Fox. You're talking about history here. Don't miss Aaron Rodgers and the Red Hot Packers dueling with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Coverage begins tomorrow at 4 Eastern on Fox. That's a good one. Packers and the Cowboys. And now, John, we're going to see Seattle. They've been tested so many times. Even last year against Carolina, they were getting buried. They came back to make that a game. 26-10 here in the third quarter.
Well, Russell Wilson, people say, what impresses you most? He's a winner. And when he's down and people think he's out, he's not out. So this game is far from over when you got number 3 quarterback in your team.
Reese Odiombo is in right guard, so Fetty, I guess, can't go with that ankle. Here's Wilson. Hit as he throws, incomplete. It was the old man, Dwight Freeney, coming in with the pressure.
Yeah, the old man still got something left. You see Matt Ryan showing leadership on his sideline. I think he's telling his team, if I know Matt Ryan, don't fall for the bait. Seattle's trying to get you to create penalties with all the jibber-jabber in between plays. Stay poised. You're taking it to him. And Dwight Freeney brings the pressure right in Russell Wilson's face. What a great acquisition, not only for himself. I think there's a huge correlation with Vic Beasley's career taking off, being around this guy who lives and breathes pass rush.
2nd and 10. They will run it here. Rawls sprinting through. Thomas Rawls spinning, sliding, and finding a Seattle first down. John, we met with Rawls the other day, and he was unlike anyone I've ever met in 4 years of doing the NFL on Fox.
Well, a mix between intensity that's unique and then just total joy. He said, listen, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm from Flint, Michigan. I wasn't drafted, and here I am carrying the ball for the Seattle Seahawks in the playoffs. I mean, it was contagious. He's a great storyteller. The guy, just an infectious personality. He's a very good runner as well.
He's got a tattoo that has quite the story. Here, though, a fake to Rawls. Wilson's going to fire far side, and he's got a completion out there. It's Curse. Shy of the first. Anyway, so Rawls, Pam Oliver asked him about his tattoo, and he says, oh, you got to check this out. It says T. Rawls, but that's not all, John.
Oh, boy. He went on to tell us that, like George Foreman's family, his grandfather's named Thomas, his father's named Thomas, and his brother's named Thomas. And we asked him why. He said his dad told him, because you're my son. And I love it. And so he goes on to say that most of them have the same middle name, so he goes by Ty. The other brother goes by Rel. It was awesome.
That's unreal. 2nd down. Wilson, pressure, looks to run. Jarrett in hot pursuit, and he throws it away. Tell you one thing that's evident, too. The Atlanta pass rush is starting to pick up. Maybe feed off this crowd a little bit.
Well, this defense, they got punched in the mouth on that first drive. Since then, they've been very good. And this crowd, Dan Quinn challenged the crowd. This town's not known for loud crowds. Dan Quinn, the head coach, called for this crowd. Let's be noisy. Help us out. And they're showing up.
3rd and 2. They will run it and come up short. Atlanta up to the challenge as Vic Beasley was there first.
Vic Beasley known for his pass rush. The NFL leader, but you got to be a complete player. Vic Beasley, watch this play. Oh, he puts the speed and quickness on him. When you've got that much speed, guys have to respect it. He shows the speed, then comes inside. What a play by a guy who's just taken off in his second year.
15.5 sacks. That time it was against the run. And on 4th down, Ryan will punt it away. Penalty flies. Ryan gets off a booming kick. Wow. Weaves inside the 10. And he's going to work his way across the 20. But let's see what the penalty is.
We have a legal formation. Defense number 41 is lined up over the center within a yard. It's a 5-yard penalty, which results in an Atlanta first down.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it's Seattle first
So
down.
just when
Seattle first down.
Just when it looked like there was some momentum Seattle needed, there it is.
There's Philip Wheeler, who they called the penalty on. There he moves late before it's snapped. Right over the center. Mike Pereira giving me the double thumbs up. He likes the call. That rule was put in to protect these long snappers.
Yes.
They used to put big guys over them. Their head was down. They made that rule change. You saw he tried to move late, moved a little too early.
Because he did it before the snap, now all of a sudden 5 yards. It was a 4th and short. It's a first down. So remember the penalty that changed this game in the first half on the return from Hester. And now Seattle maybe gets a second breath of life. See if they can do something with it. From their own 36. They will run it and going nowhere. Babineau came through like a freight train.
Seattle was hopeful that this offensive line had found themselves. Like I said earlier, you give this offensive line movement, they struggle with it. It's been a pattern all year long. You don't just heal yourself over the course of a season. When you've been bad all year as a unit, you don't just get better all of a sudden. They were great last week. This offensive line struggling mightily here today.
They sure are. Babineau has been a lifer here in Atlanta. 2nd and 14. Collins in the game, a running back. 4-man rush, but pressure. Wilson throws on the run. He's got a man, Richardson. Great catch. Richardson's got it. They're going to mark him out of bounds inside the 30, down to the 28. What a throw.
And Russell Wilson extending the play. Well, when that happens, you got to cover that speed for a very long time. One of the things Dan Quinn said about Russell Wilson, one of the most accurate deep ball throwers in the league. Example right there.
Paul Richardson has really stepped up. 3 catches, 79 yards today. Of course, he had the big week in the wild card round. And the Seahawks have some life. With 5.5 to go in this 3rd quarter. Wilson gets it out to Collins, who drops it.
Interesting that Vic Beasley has been out for the last few plays of this series. Perhaps just trying to rest him. Remember, he's a smaller guy. You don't want him to take so much pounding. You want to limit the reps a little bit. He's getting a rest, but I don't think it's a coincidence that when he's out, they start to move it. Well, he's become a force.
He injured his left shoulder in the regular season finale, but he practiced all week. Said he was fine when he talked to us the other day. And I think you're right. Probably just giving him a little bit of a break. 2nd and 10. Wilson, near side, it's Graham who makes the catch. Haven't heard his name in a while since that touchdown for Jimmy Graham. Just his 3rd catch today.
And, you know, one of the patterns when this offensive line has struggled this year, one of the reasons Jimmy Graham hasn't been as involved in each and every game, he's had to stay in and chip and block. I don't think you can do that. Have someone else block. He's too valuable as a pass catcher down the field.
Seahawks 3 of 6 on 3rd down. Beasley's back in the game, number 44 for Atlanta. Seattle needs to get to the 19. Wilson, pressure, runs away. Beautiful pass to Collins for a first down. All Russell Wilson on that play.
you really put a defense in a predicament when you have this kind of mobility. Watch Deion Jones. He's covering Alex Collins. But he sees Russell Wilson. Now he's in a conundrum. Which one do I do? Made the wrong choice. He came after the quarterback. And I guess you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. He does use his speed to go rally him, but that's the pressure a mobile quarterback puts on you.
So Dan Quinn talked about it. He said, you know, it doesn't matter. Even if somebody's spying Wilson, you have to run, and he's fast. The penalty has given Seattle life. On a first down, a quick hitter, Richardson, looking for a block. And he's inside the 10. Jones and Wheeler were there. Seahawks can get a first down to the 2. We talked about this is where, even though Atlanta's defense has been better in a lot of areas, especially of late red zone, they've just been terrible all year.
And if you're Seattle, listen, it's not absolutely critical, but in my mind, you better score a touchdown here. This offense for Atlanta is really hard to stop right now. They've gotten going, so you got to match them with touchdowns. You can't have them scoring touchdowns. You get field goals.
Second down. Pressure. Wilson in trouble. Throws incomplete. He just had to get rid of it as heavy pressure came from Reed and Rashid Hageman as well. So a 3rd and 6.
Kevin, we talk about Vic Beasley, but as you watch this Atlanta team, their entire front has become a better rush unit. You see Rashid Hageman, Brooks Reed, Dwight Freeney, they're all contributing. You got to really hail the job that Brian Cox, the defensive line coach for these Atlanta Falcons, has done getting this group to where they need to be.
I think this is go for it territory for Pete Carroll, even though it's only the 3rd quarter.
I think it's 4-down territory. I think you got to play to win, and remember who you're facing, the best offense in football.
This is 3rd down, though, 3rd and 6. Wilson steps up, thinking about running, going to fling it end zone high, incomplete. He had a couple of guys there, Baldwin and Graham, but he missed it both, and now a 4th down, and they will try for a field goal.
You see Russell Wilson, he had Doug Baldwin wide open. Doug Baldwin's going to uncover as the Babineau comes up. It's just a high throw by Russell Wilson. See him find the soft spot. Remember, you got to cover him forever. He's there. It's just a high throw. Let me qualify what I said. I think if you've got some yards, it's 4-down territory. 4th and 6, I don't think it's a wise choice.
Yeah, that's a tough make. So 26-yarder by Hauschka is up and good. That ends a streak of 19 consecutive points by the Falcons. Seahawks get a little closer, trail it by 13 now. Sunday, February 5th, Pepsi presents the biggest concert of the year, the Pepsi Zero Sugar Super Bowl 51 halftime show. To follow Lady Gaga on her journey to the world's biggest stage, visit PepsiHalftime.com. Back here in Atlanta, Dan Quinn and his quarterback Matt Ryan. All the talk of Matt Ryan not playing well in his playoff career with a 1-4 record. Well, he's playing pretty well today. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And what about the job Dan Quinn has done coaching this Atlanta Falcons football team?
We'll get into that when we come back. Falcons up 13. Their football. 3:03 to go in the 3rd. Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award presented by Nationwide recognizes NFL players who made a significant impact on both the game and in their communities, and is considered one of the league's most prestigious honors. This year's nominee for the Seattle Seahawks is Cliff Averill. The 3 finalists will be announced during the NFC Championship game, and the winner announced at the NFL Honors Award Show February 4th at 8 Eastern on Fox. Here we go. Falcons by 13 on a 1st and 10. Ryan fires for Julio Jones and bobbled and can't hang on. Sherman was right there on the coverage.
Well, listen, we knew this would be a great matchup, and there it is. That's just a drop by Julio Jones, but the combat between these two guys, not much separation there. Great job by Richard Sherman, not giving much separation. That can tend to make receivers drop the ball.
Sherman's been on him a pretty good amount today, John. I think more than the first matchup.
Like all day.
Yeah. That's Jones in motion this time. On a 2nd down, pitch it out. Coleman trying to get the edge. Does across the 30. Patient running by Coleman. And it'll be a 3rd down after that 6-yard run. You talked about Dan Quinn, John. Remember, defensive coordinator under Pete Carroll, is also defensive line coach under Pete Carroll. They know each other well. They're good friends. Dan said he's the most influential coach I've ever had in my career.
And they're very similar in how they coach. They speak the same language. They talk about the brotherhood that they need to create amongst their team. You know, it's crazy being a production meeting because you hear the same things.
Yeah.
But it's not just lip service. They live it in their cultures that they create with their teams. He's done a phenomenal job with this organization.
Play clock at 1. Ryan, blitz coming. Back foot throws. Complete. Freeman. Great catch. And the move. Devontae Freeman inside the 20.
You play with fire when you blitz this team because you got Julio Jones, you got Gabriel, but you also got this guy right here who's a matchup nightmare. You see Bobby Wagner, arguably the defensive player of the year, try to stick with him, and then the void of not having Earl Thomas continues to show itself. Stephen Terrell just can't tackle these guys in the middle of the field.
53 yards by Freeman. What a catch and run. The foot in the ground. And another explosive play by Atlanta. Coleman gives him a spell in the backfield. And they'll fake the run. Ryan looking, firing, complete. Nope, dropped. Toilolo had it, couldn't bring it in. I want to go back to the last play against the blitz. You talked about Ryan in this offense. He's got a 118 rating against the blitz this year.
So, like I said, you play with fire. Now, Matt Ryan, could he have run it? Yeah. He also could have thrown it. And he had Toilolo wide open. You got to catch that football. But it's not, you know, the reason why I went back to it. You got so much speed on the field if you're Matt Ryan. If you just deliver it accurately.
There's the number right there. Yeah, I mean, those are crazy ratings against pressure. On second down. 4-man rush. He's pressured and he's taken down. Atabo Rubin got his big hands on him. And gets the sack, the second for Seattle today.
Kyle Shanahan going for the gusto right here. They're going to fake the little quick screen, and then he's trying to hit Toilolo right there. He pumped, and the best way to hit double moves, pumps, is with pass rush. Atabo Rubin does just that.
He just took Chris Chester right back into the backfield. And a 3rd down and 15 coming up with 42 seconds to go in this 3rd quarter. Ryan steps up, goes far side to Toilolo. Tackled well shy of a 1st down by Richard Sherman. And so here comes a field goal try, and they can let the quarter run out if they'd like. I don't see why they wouldn't at this point. And they'll have Bryant out there to start the 4th, trying to push it back to a 16-point lead. And that will indeed take us to the end of the 3rd quarter. The number 2 seed Falcons and the Seahawks. It's Atlanta, that high-powered offense, in control after 3. This year, more than 300,000 kids played NFL flag football, the official youth football program of the NFL and USA Football. From coast to coast, girls and boys across the country are learning the fundamental skills and techniques of football by playing NFL flag. In less than 2 weeks, over 600 athletes from 64 flag teams will advance to the NFL Flag Championships in Orlando, including 32 teams chosen by NFL clubs. The Atlanta Falcons selected the Georgia Elite Falcons, a 13 to 14-year-old boys team from Locust Grove, to represent them in Orlando. And here tonight are the Georgia Elite Falcons, along with head coach Varell Burris, assistant coach Steve Green. These Falcons will be competing in Orlando for the chance to play in the 13 and 14-year-old boys championship game, which will take place live during pregame and halftime of the Pro Bowl. To find an NFL flag league near you, visit playfootball.com.
I love that. How excited are those kids? And good for them. That's outstanding by the NFL, urging the participation in football of any kind, flag or tackle.
I thought you were excited for my promo read, John.
I thought that was great, too.
We start the fourth quarter with the Falcons up on the Seahawks 26-13. So Matt Bryant will come on for a field goal try. It'll be a 31-yarder trying to extend it back to a 16-point Atlanta lead. Gets it up and through. So a 31-yard field goal for Matt Bryant extends the Atlanta lead. 29-13 your score now early in this fourth quarter. Hey, see your favorite NFL players show off their impressive talents and strength, speed, and more in an epic event unlike anything you've seen. Tune into the new Pro Bowl Skills Showdown Thursday, January 26th at 7 Eastern. Don't miss the Pro Bowl in Orlando presented by Aquafina. It's on Sunday, January 29th at 8 Eastern on ESPN. I want to go back to that field goal drive answering Seattle's field goal. 53 yards to Devontae Freeman was outstanding.
Yeah, it was a tremendous play, and you want to blitz Matt Ryan. You got Cliff Averill right there on Devontae Freeman. That is a mismatch. And that's what Kyle Shanahan talked about in the first game. There you see the missing of Earl Thomas. That kind of move in space. Earl Thomas likely to make that tackle. Stephen Terrell can't. But Kyle Shanahan talked in the first matchup. They kept Freeman in and blocked when they ran those blitzes. This time he said, we're not going to keep him in. We're going to put him out there on those defensive ends. Great job by the Atlanta Falcons. They've got so much speed on this offense.
So it's almost like if you're going to blitz, we'll just get rid of it quicker to our backs, and now you got to cover.
Pick your poison.
Right?
Chris Richard tried to dial it up at the right time. He thought that would keep Freeman in. Kyle Shanahan said, not so fast. You're going to blitz. We're going to put him out there and make someone who doesn't want to cover him cover.
There's a long way to go. It's almost a full fourth quarter with the Seahawks down by 16 points. So a two-score game it remains, and with the knee of Hester, they'll start on their own 25.
Kevin, and this just speaks volumes. You see the impact Earl Thomas has on this defense. They haven't had the turnovers without him. I think it's much bigger than that. It's the presence. I've always called him the eraser in this defense. His impact is so much bigger than just his play. He's a playmaker, but he allows everybody else on this defense to play more aggressively and trust their instincts, because if they screw up, Earl Thomas is there to clean it up. Earl Thomas not here, and that's hurting the Seattle defense.
Yeah, so Thomas has missed the last 5 games with that broken leg. Luke Wilson went out for a little bit for Seattle, number 82, the tight end, concussion protocol, but he passed that. He's back in. And so the Seahawks need some offense, down by 16 here in the fourth. 4-man rush. Wilson stepping away, pressured again, firing, incomplete. Tell you what, John, they've done a great job forcing Wilson to run to his opposite side.
It's a great point. To his left. He's a great thrower on the run. To his right, to his throwing hand. They're clearly trying to force Russell Wilson. They're giving him all that, saying, go ahead, go to the left, and let's see if you can make the throw. Russell Wilson can. It's much harder. Any quarterback will tell you that. Just a little bit off right there, although that ball should have been caught.
Second down, we get some movement, we get a flag. Dwight Freeney jumped, but he said he was baited by George Fent.
For a false start. Offense number 74. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
26 false starts for the Seahawks, most in the league coming in.
Yeah, you're George Fent, and you were playing power forward at Western Kentucky 2 years ago. You're lining up against Dwight Freeney. I don't care if he's 50 years old. He's got a reputation, and you know it. And he felt that, and he said, I got to get out of here. He left too soon.
Freeney, by the way, is only 36. So. Point taken, 2nd and 15. Here's Wilson. Pressure again. Gonna let it fly deep for Doug. Baldwin just missed. He floated it out there, and just a hair too much for Baldwin.
One of the holes of this defense for both sides When you're in a slot formation, that route right there, they're asking a linebacker, Deion Jones, to cover Doug Baldwin. Deion Jones is saying, thanks a lot, coach. I'm trying to run with Doug Baldwin down the middle. Can't miss those throws. Russell Wilson typically doesn't, just a little too much.
3rd and 15. As this place gets loud. Play clock at 1. Russell Wilson saw it, had to call a timeout. And so the Seahawks' first timeouts of this second half. America's fastest growing sports shows on FS1.
We promise it is.
We debate Seahawks, Falcons, and Cowboys, Packers.
Are you sure you're going to come into work after Aaron Rodgers beats the Cowboys?
I can't wait for Monday. Undisputed, 9:30 Eastern, FS1.
Seahawks have been here before. 4 fourth-quarter comebacks in the postseason since 2012. Yes, 2 of them have been on the road. And just think the last time these two teams met in the playoffs, they were down 120, and then the Seahawks took the lead before Atlanta won it at the gun, basically. But this is a tough task. And a 3rd and 15 to start it off. Wilson, stunt, pressure, gets away, scanning the field, gonna run. Wilson tucks, and he gets decked. Brian Poole, the quarterback. And Seattle will have to punt.
Now, a lot of people are going to be saying, wait, he went high on him. He's a runner right there. When you're a runner, unless you're spearing him, there is no helmet to helmet. Russell Wilson showing the fact that he's healthy. That's a legal hit all day long. And a very physical one by Brian Poole.
John, there is someone, unfortunately, on the field, so they're going to have to pause for a second and wait to get this punt off. So on a 4th and 4, for silliness. You know, the one thing I want to go back to about Quinn, we didn't have a chance to do it, right? And you mentioned how he and Pete Carroll have been very similar, obviously, but Quinn does have his differences. I think you can see the toughness in the Falcons in his second year, can't you? I mean, they got off to a good start last year and really faltered down the stretch and missed the playoffs, but they've done a lot of good things where you could see it building.
You could also see another similarity, the fact that he's lockstep with his general manager. Much like Pete Carroll and John Schneider, Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff, just lockstep. In fact, on that toughness, they have what they call a CT grades, competitiveness and toughness. That's what they want. They want those kind of players. There's Dimitroff with Rich McKay, Arthur Blank. Arthur Blank so excited about this team, about his new stadium that's coming. A lot of positive things in Atlanta.
Trying to close out the old wine style. Good punt from Ryan. Here's Weems looking for a block. Up to the 20. 59-yard punt, 10-yard return, and the Falcons in control. Defense getting it done, offense getting it done. Matt Ryan back on the field. Oh. And you know what? There was a penalty amongst a horde of players, so we couldn't see it. Well, let's see. This came after the play, after the punt. And so discussion with Gene Steratore and his crew. And a long talk here. I did not see the flag get thrown. It was after the play.
It was very late. We're just searching here what it could be. Right there.
There is no foul. For 12 men on the defense, there was only 11. The play stands as it has run. First down, Atlanta, timeout.
Falcon first down and their lead here in the 4th.
Today's game is sponsored by Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 40 straight years. And by Chili's 3-course meal deal for $10. Chillin' since '75.
Back from the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Could be the last game here, depending on what happens the rest of the way here. And, of course, the Dallas-Green Bay game. Last 4 possessions, offense has taken over just as the defense is geared it up for Atlanta. Remember, Seattle started this game with an 89-yard drive for a touchdown. And so here are the Falcons up by 16, 13:51 to play on offense again. And Matt Ryan nearly threw it right into the breadbasket of DeAndre Elliott.
Kevin, what these are, they're this new thing that entered from the college football world called RPOs, run pass options. Matt Ryan saw a loaded box, too many defenders, so he says, let's throw it. The only problem is Taylor Gabriel didn't see that same thing. And DeAndre Elliott, the rookie from Colorado State, in there for Deshaun Shedd, realizes the opportunity he just missed.
Falcons fans take a breath. Ryan has been pretty good today. Fake run, pressure from Wagner, gets rid of it high and incomplete. And a 3rd down is coming up. John, Matt Ryan, I mean, it's going to be close, but I think he probably will win the MVP. And he has had an unbelievable season. The season of his career by far at age 31. That passer rating, 4th best in the history of the NFL. That says something, right? And then you look what else he did. 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So the numbers there, tremendous. 9.2 pass yards per attempt, most ever in the league with at least 400 attempts. It's a monster number any way you look at it. And I think maybe the most impressive thing is he's coming off maybe his worst year in his career. But he spun it into an MVP type year. 3rd and 10. Pressure. Ryan's going to let it fly. And it's Hardy. He's got the catch for an Atlanta. Oh, now they say incomplete. So a check by the official and said, nope, Hardy did not come down with it on the far sideline from us. He juggled it, I believe.
Let's watch Justin Hardy. Now, as you go to the ground, you have to complete the process all the way to the ground. I mean, it's off one of the Seattle. Somebody holding the towel down there, and actually goes off his knee.
Well, we're going to go back to the old. I mean, I think that's a catch. We'll go. Mike Pereira is here. Mike's going to have some fun deciphering what is a catch and what is not when we come back from break. He's excited for that. So a challenge by Dan Quinn. It sure looked like a catch, but we will see ruled incomplete on the field. Challenge by the Falcons. Let's have the call with Gene Steratore on Dan Quinn's challenge.
After review, the ruling on the field has been changed to a completed catch. Will be Atlanta's ball, 1st and 10 on the 31-yard line on the hash mark near Seattle's bench. Atlanta is not.
All right, so let's bring in Mike Pereira. Mike, is there a rule for catches running into the water boy?
Yeah, here's why it's a catch. He gets control of the ball, gets 2 feet down. He's on his feet. Then, after that, he's pushed to the ground. When he hits the ground, he holds on to the ball, and it doesn't come out until he hits, actually, the water boy. So it has all the elements of the catch, and that was the right reversal.
Mike, is there a penalty for illegal use of the water boy?
You can't use, that's a prop. You're using the water boy as a prop.
Thank you, Mike. So, the challenge won by Quinn. The Falcons keep the ball, and Coleman tripped up by Michael Bennett. What a play, knifing through, and a loss on 1st down.
What a play by what a player, Michael Bennett. I think one of the most impactful players in football. See him with the movement, getting in the backfield. I say it all the time, but one way to kill a running game, penetrate, get in the backfield. Michael Bennett does it as well as anyone in this league.
Seahawks signed him to a 3-year extension in December. And, you know, if you just look at numbers and don't watch games, his numbers are good. But maybe not up to where some of the other guys are, but I know you feel like he's maybe the best in the league. 2nd and 14. Here's Ryan stepping up, and he is dropped, and the ball is dropped, and the Falcons jump on it. Frank Clark with the sack and the forced fumble, but Chris Chester alert and saved it for Atlanta.
Well, Kyle Shanahan told us, get the ice bag ready, Sarah Ryan, Matt's wife, because you're going to get hit playing the Seahawks. He said, one thing we have to do, we have to protect the football. Matt Ryan right there, careless with it, carrying it in one hand. Frank Clark gets it out. But the Falcons right there with Chris Chester.
That's another thing for Atlanta, John. We showed you all these numbers, how good their offense is. They only turned it over 11 times. That's by far the best in the league. Here's Ryan on 3rd and long. Going to dump it off for Freeman. Freeman making his way and out to the 35. But he had a long way to go, and so that will be a 4th down coming up.
They didn't eat much clock there. It helped that they got that 1st down on the challenge. But they didn't eat a whole lot of clock on that drive, and we've told you so many times how effective Russell Wilson. Every time you think he's out and his team's out, he's not. Plenty of time for the Seattle Seahawks in a 2-score game.
That's the thing. Still 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions. They are by far well in this game. Here's Bosher, who has punted the least in the league this year because the offense is so good. This is not a great punt. He's had a good year, but this is short. And it's going to be downed out around the 34. So Seattle's got decent field position, but they've got a way to go in this one from Atlanta.
Well, we saw the poor punt from Bosher. Well, look who he was affected by. This is the playoffs. You pull out all the stops. That's Doug Baldwin, folks, your starting receiver for the Seattle Seahawks. Pressuring Bosher. Talk to punters. They feel those guys just like quarterbacks do when they're pressured. Seahawks pulling out all the stops.
Now the question is, can Seattle get any offense going? They're down 16. It's 2 scores, 11-17 to go. Plenty of time in this divisional playoff. They go empty set. And they start from their own 33. Here's Wilson. Gets rid of his Collins in the flat. And Collins gets belted pretty good up out the 38 out to the 39. He's going to pick up 6.
This defense has come a long way, and they've got so many of the characteristics. Similar scheme. They run and hit, though. They run and hit hard. Jalen Collins and Devondre Campbell going to fly in there to finish him off.
On 2nd down, pressure. Wilson scrambling, looking, just going to take off. Russell Wilson has the first and goes out of bounds. Thought I'd see that more a little bit today, and he's tried it once or twice, but that's the first real sprint out for the first.
That's been effective when he has. But if you're the Atlanta Falcons right now, that's fine. Let him run. Just don't let him beat you down the field on the deep balls when he does extend.
Wilson officially 5 carries, 38 yards after that 8-yard run, and a 1st down.
If you're the Seahawks, you got to get Jimmy Graham back involved in this game. One of your best players, you got to get him in.
On the near side, it's Baldwin this time. It gets a double team, spins away. Doug Baldwin has a 1st down. And Seattle's got a little something here going on this drive.
Doug Baldwin's instinct as a runner after catch is incredible. He feels people's pressure, their leverage points, where they're coming from. Remember the old thing from Top Gun, you put on the brakes, they'll fly right by. He just does that to Brian Poole.
There's Wilson. Steps up. Is he going to run again? He sure will. Up to the 30 on the slide. That's good for another 1st down for Seattle. So the Seahawks moving quickly. That's a gain of 11.
One of the things that happens when Russell Wilson starts doing this, your defensive lineman gets dog tired. These guys have been rushing against 300-pounders plus. And you got to chase that guy, and then you got to go line up and do it again. They're gassed right now.
Wilson steps away calmly. Now comes chase from Campbell, throwing end zone, and it's incomplete. And so they'll get a chance to breathe. The other thing is about being gassed, John. You know, Atlanta rotates a ton, and by going quick, you give a chance to sub.
Kevin, you talked earlier. Dan Quinn said, I hate the word spy, because you don't spy Russell Wilson, but if you do, you better have an aggressive spy with the guy who can run with him. Devondre Campbell can fly for a linebacker. He does a really nice job of making Russell Wilson throw the football earlier than he wishes to.
Play clock at 2. Get it off. Wilson. Pressure up the middle. Gets away, but now he's taken down. Swarming defense by the Falcons. Babineau, Hagman, they all got to Wilson.
I've heard Jimmy Johnson say it before. Fatigue makes cowards of us all. Don't be a coward. Get yourself in shape. Apparently, these Atlanta defense linemen and Brooks Reed, Babineau, Hageman, they've been doing that. They run to the football. Despite the fact Russell Wilson's running all over, they're still rushing and rushing hard.
3rd down, 16. Here comes a stunt. Wilson moving away, looking, just floats it out there for Collins. It's intercepted. Picked off by Allen. Ricardo Allen into Seahawks territory.
Can't praise that group enough. That defensive line ran so much in that sequence. Grady Jarrett comes. Here comes Beasley next, and here comes Keanu Neal. That makes the ball float. Ricardo Allen doing his best Earl Thomas impersonation. Sees a floating ball. He goes and gets it. Says, let's go get some. This Falcons defense came to play.
You almost feel like you're looking in the mirror today, don't you?
Maybe Seattle 2.0 has overtaken the real Seattle Seahawks.
And so now, with a 16-point lead, the Falcons with a chance to really do some damage. Still a 2-score game, 8:16 to go. No run to Freeman. And not much. Just trying to take some time off the clock. Russell Wilson has been pressured a ton. He has been running for his life most of this day. They've sacked him 3 times, but 17 hurries.
Kevin, for years we've been doing Falcons game. What's plagued this Atlanta defense? They couldn't generate a pass rush. You look at the first four games of this year, not much pass rush. I was doing the game. You were off at the World Series. I was doing the game in Denver.
Yep.
Vic Beasley went off. 3 sacks, and it like ignited this whole defensive front. They've been on fire since.
Empty backfield. Blitz coming. Ryan sees it, gets rid of it. Toilolo. And Levine Toilolo with a stick on and a shoulder. And it's Toilolo lands. He got right through Nico Thorpe, and it's a pickup of 18.
Seattle has always prided themselves on tackling in space, being great open field tacklers. Levine Toilolo says, get off me, and then carries Bobby Wagner for some extra yardage.
His 4th year in the league. For years, he was just a blocking tight end. He's really coming on as a receiver now. He's a big guy. He's 6'8". And a 1st and 10 for the Falcons from the 27. Here's Coleman around the edge to the 20. Down to the sidelines. Injuries for Seattle a factor. Let's check in with Peter Schrager.
Kevin, we got 2 injuries. Deshaun Shedd is done for the day with a knee injury, and Jeremy Lane is out with cramping, questionable to return. They're going to need these guys. They're not tackling well back here.
So essentially, Peter, you've got DeAndre Elliott, Nico Thorpe in there. You're down your 2nd and 3rd corner, John.
The Legion of Boom is decimated right now. No Earl Thomas. Really, Jeremy Lane's a starting corner. He plays in the nickel, which is 70% of the plays. That's where this team has made hay over the years, and they're injured. They're banged up back there.
Milking the clock. Falcons. Coleman up the gut. 1st down. These running backs have been nothing short of outstanding.
There's no better tandem in the league. They throw so much at you, as all-around backs. They beat you rushing the ball. They beat you in the pass game. We've seen it. They both can fly. Kyle Shanahan's an offensive coordinator who knows how to utilize them. They've got great receivers outside. It's just to pick your poison. Who do you want to try to stop? And this offensive line, by the way, is pretty good as well.
Sure are. Here's Freeman. Stretching right and a short gain. Jaron Reed was there on the stop. Well, just a ho-hum day for Matt Ryan. 23 of 34, 324 yards and 2 touchdowns today. And I know we've known Matt for a while now. You know, he's pretty cool and calm, but don't tell me that at least in the back of his mind he wasn't thinking about winning a playoff game and how much he needed to do that for his own resume.
There's no doubt. I mean, you only get over those things when you actually do it. And Matt Ryan talked about he's learned from the experience. Don't put too much on it. Play it like any other game. He's been outstanding today, just as he has been all year, an MVP year.
2nd and 9, Freeman. Devontae Freeman down to the 10. As time obviously an issue now. Ticking down towards 5 minutes to go.
Kevin, you know, one move this team made this offseason, getting a center isn't a real sexy move, but man, has it made this team better. Alex Mack right there came from the Cleveland Browns. He's a very good player. He's also incredibly smart. But great players, they don't just play well, they make everyone around them better. This offensive line has improved so much, and I think he's a vital cog in this offensive line. It's made them a better team.
Playing in his first playoff game ever, 4-time Pro Bowl. 3rd and 5. Play clock at 1, they'll get it off. Ryan going to throw a false shot. Sanu, first down, Atlanta. This is a well-oiled machine.
Toilolo, Julio Jones, Taylor Gabriel, Devontae Freeman, Tevin Coleman, Mohamed Sanu. I mean, who are you going to try to stop? It's unbelievable. And then their offensive line. How do you stop a hot quarterback? An offense that's loaded, you got to hit them. We showed you week 6, 19 hurries. They've been much better protecting Matt Ryan today. He's had a clean pocket most of the day.
Jeremy Lane back in the game, the cornerback for Seattle. 1st and goal with Freeman and a tailback. They're going to throw it. Throwing a fade. Sanu! He's got it! Touchdown!
This is a team that believes in drafting, developing, but they went and got a couple free agents this offseason. We showed you one, the center. They also went and got this guy to try to present something other than Julio Jones. I think he looks like Julio Jones, the way he plays. What an incredible play, and this team's just hitting on all cylinders right now.
I think if you put the rest, the mantra of Matt Ryan not performing in the playoffs, he has torn it up against one of the best defenses in the NFL today. 334 yards, 3 TDs for Matt Ryan. And this Falcon offense, as they've done against everybody, exploding against Seattle today. And he's fired up. 36-13 Atlanta. How's that for a day for Matt Ryan? 334 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's done it against the blitz. He's spread it around to just about everyone with a Falcons uniform on. And it has been impressive against one of the best defenses in the league. Hester going to take it out from the seats, trying to make something happen. He's got a lot of room. Devin Hester gets through. Devin Hester down to the 30. He's playing today.
Kevin, you saw me throw my arms up like, what is he doing? Well, he knew what he was doing. He's Devin Hester. He's been doing it a long time. Speed. That's what speed does. There's some more speed. Robert Alford going and catching Devin Hester. That's a big play as well.
Problem is now you get a 3-score game and it's 3:29 to go. So a tall task, but at least it gives Seattle some sort of a chance. And consider the fact that Hester also had 97 yards called back today because of special teams penalties. So a 1st down for Russell Wilson. Steps away, floats one towards the end zone. Baldwin, and just like that, a touchdown. But penalty flag, so let's wait and see.
I think that will stand. That's either a legal contact, defensive holding. I think that's a touchdown.
I believe there's some trash talk going on there, Joe.
Prior to the pass, holding defense number 22. Penalty is declined in the result of the play. Touchdown.
just when you're about to say, okay, move on, Seattle staying alive here.
Yeah, they called it on Keanu Neal, but it's Robert Alford who has the hold. You saw it early. He was hoping for a little push-off by Doug Baldwin. They got that hold. That's something that's plagued Alford. He's a really good player, but the penalties all year long have plagued him. But it wouldn't have mattered anyway because Doug Baldwin just torched him.
Well, it makes no sense to go for 2 here, because if you kick the extra point, you're still a 2-score game. And you know, you have to think of Seattle. You go back to the 2014 NFC title game, right? I thought that game was over, and they pull one out of nowhere. So, extra point, up and good. So again, it's a 2-score game with 3:21 to go. We'll be back in 30 seconds from Atlanta. Hey, tomorrow NFC Divisional round excitement continues here on Fox. Don't miss Aaron Rodgers and the Red Hot Packers dueling with Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. Coverage begins at 4 Eastern on Fox. And of course, the winner of that faces the winner of this one in the NFC Championship. So Cowboys at home field. If they win, be in Dallas. Green Bay were to win, if Atlanta would hold on, it would be here.
You know, it's funny. The Cowboys have been so good all year, led by a couple rookies and Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott. But everyone's talking about Aaron Rodgers right now, almost as if the Cowboys are the underdog. That's going to be a fun game.
So onside kick mode for Seattle, at least you would think. With 3:21 to go, the Seahawks have 2 timeouts remaining. They're down 16. 0 for 1 on onside kicks this year. Housegood puts it high up there, but Sanu easily goes up and corrals it. And so the Falcons will have some time to take off this clock, and Matt Ryan will come back on the field. Matt Ryan's day, we showed you his numbers, but how about spreading it around? I mean, and you look at the effectiveness of getting everybody involved. I mean, it's gone everywhere. That started off for them with Julio Jones with the touchdown, dancing in the pocket, and then finding Coleman in the corner. And then you're going to go the other way, and acrobatic catch from Sanu. Those his 3 touchdowns today. He has spread it everywhere. 8 Falcons with at least a catch.
And last year, everybody was saying, what's wrong with Matt Ryan? Turnovers in the red zone. Doesn't look like he and Kyle Shanahan are on the same page. See Matt Ryan under center. Trying to eat clock here, running the ball.
And the flag comes in behind the play. And the whistle blows.
You know, Kevin, I think Julio Jones, though, said it really well. He said, John, Kevin, you've been there. When you're confident, when you know something inside and out, your talent can come to the forefront. Last year, Matt Ryan didn't have a grasp of this entire scheme. Kyle Shanahan throws a lot at you. He goes after people, so it's a different game plan each week. You got a library.
Defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And the familiarity. Dan Quinn said, you two are going to hang out this offseason. Matt Ryan, Kyle Shanahan, he got the scheme down, and you're seeing the rewards being, I mean, this is a fabulous offense.
Julio Jones had an interesting take. Last time the Falcons were in the playoffs was 2012. They beat Seattle in the Divisional. They lost to the 49ers, blew a big lead in the title game. Julio Jones said, you know, in 2012 we were on it, but we just weren't ready for the moment. Said this game, we're going to do what we have to do. So far they have. First down. Coleman. And he goes out of bounds. That's not what you want. That stops the clock.
Yeah, he knows it. He knows it. He's upset with himself. Bobby Turner, his running back coach, is going to let him know it. Bobby, an intense coach. There's Bobby Turner. And I think Bobby sees that he already knows that he made a mistake. Right there, you just, even if you don't get the extra yard, stay in bounds. The clock is more important at this point.
No doubt. With 3:11 to go and a 2nd down and 9. So Freeman replaces Coleman now. Here's Freeman. Freeman taken down by Cam Chancellor. Let's go down the sidelines with Pam Oliver.
Hey there, guys. It's going well exactly for Atlanta, but a little bit of bad news. Their star wide receiver, Julio Jones, he has gone in early with a foot injury. It's plagued him a lot. He's been banged up a lot, but as a precaution, they've gone ahead and sent him back in.
Well, that's not only big news for today, but obviously for next week, too. He missed a couple games with that toe. Bye helped him out, and so he goes back into the locker room. Here's the distribution, John, that we were talking about, just spreading it around. as Seattle has called a timeout. So the clock stops with 3:05 to go.
You know, Kevin, one of the interesting things, a lot of people said, what are they doing this offseason? Raheem Morris, been a head coach in the league, but always been a defensive coach. They made him the wide receiver coach.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't know what they were doing. Dan Quinn thought it would be great. He's close with Kyle Shanahan, but bring a defensive perspective to those receivers. I'd say it's worked.
Oh, I'd say so. A 3rd down and 10 now. Ryan just gets it away quickly. And he's got Gabriel. Makes a man miss to the 40. He stays in bounds, and see if Seattle calls their final timeout. And looks like they do. So that'll stop the clock with 2:58 to go. You know, it could be the last game here at the Georgia Dome, Don. We told you it depends on what happens tomorrow. Of course, if the Falcons hold on. And this place has seen a lot of different moments in its history. It hasn't been around that long. Relatively young place, but of course you've had the Falcons, the Olympics, WrestleMania, the Super Bowl, where Kevin Dyson came up a yard short. We've seen some entertainment and all kinds of stuff here. Of course, the Falcons, they like to leave it on a good memory. They've got the brand new Mercedes-Benz Stadium next door. We toured it yesterday with Rich McKay of the Falcons. Place is sick.
Spectacular. It's going to be the best one in the league. I'm sorry to everybody in Dallas and Minnesota, but Arthur Blank, I think, went in there. I want the Taj Mahal. And man, they did not miss a detail.
And Doug Baldwin on that punt team just danced over the football. I don't know that he touched any Falcon. Then he got back on sides. So the crowd reacting to that. And now here's the punt by Bosher. Bosher goes down. No flag, and the punt goes in the end zone. So it's 2:51 to go here, John. Bosher wanted a flag.
Gene Steratore is indicating that he was pushed. Pierre Lewis was pushed in. See that plant leg? That's dangerous. I don't know about the push, Gene. It looked like he kind of fell into him. Bosher hot.
If you go into that plant leg full force, it's a 15-yard penalty. So Seattle obviously needs a lot to happen here, but they've got a shot. 2 touchdowns, 2 two-point conversions, no timeouts, 2:51 to go. So you get 1 touchdown, and then you worry about the onside kick.
They did their job getting the ball back in a hurry after the unsuccessful onside kick. Now let's see if Russell Wilson can make something happen.
Against this Falcon defense on display. They've had a good day. First down. Wilson has time. Sitting, buying, firing deep for Richardson, and incomplete. No! How about that? I didn't think he came down with it, and Richardson held on.
Well, Richardson can fly. How about the concentration? He secures that ball. What a catch. Look at the eyes. Ricardo Allen in his face.
The flag, the challenge flag, is on the field from Dan Quinn.
That ball's incomplete. It hit the ground there.
That was my initial reaction, and the officials waited to be sure, and then the signal for a catch. So Dan Quinn's challenge, we will look at it in the break. Obviously a big call.
Atlanta's challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch.
And I think I'll look at this and quickly turn this over to an incomplete pass. Didn't really have control before the ball hit the ground, and then it came loose after hitting the ground. So it'll be 2nd and 10 at the 20-yard line, and they'll reset the clock to 2:43, about there anyway.
I'd like to vote to have Mike Burrow with us in the booth every game, John.
Let's do it.
After review, the ruling on the field is changed to an incomplete pass. The ball hits the ground. It will be Seattle's ball, 2nd and 10. On their 20-yard line on the hash mark nearest their bench. Please set the game clock to 2 minutes 43 seconds. Atlanta has had 2 successful challenges this game, so they do qualify for a 3rd challenge.
And so, yes, what Gene Steratore is saying, they get 1 more challenge to get the first 2 right if they need it. That's obviously a big overturn.
How about picture tells 1,000 words? Pete Carroll in disbelief. And Arthur Blank and his wife pretty excited down there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So 2:43 to go. That was a great shot. Arthur Blank, the owner of these Falcons.
He's a good man. He really is, and he cares about winning a lot, and he cares about his players a lot. He cares about this city a lot, and he's so excited about this team. He's got every right to be.
So with all of that, it's a 2nd and 10. 2:43 to play. Four-man rush. Wilson steps away, being chased by Dwight Freeney, and just lofts it out of bounds. How about Dwight Freeney? He's made himself known. You know, you talked about it. He's here so much for the locker room as much as on the field. He's been good today.
He's been wreaking havoc on quarterbacks his whole life. We talked to him before that Denver game, and he talked about you got to live pass rushing. He said, John, I'm in the supermarket. I put spin moves on old ladies down the aisle, down aisle 6. Dwight Freeney, that's impacted, that's influenced this team, this defense, guys like Vic Beasley.
3rd and 10. They clock at 1. Wilson looks, comes back near side, completes. It's Baldwin, 1st down, and he's out of bounds.
See Vic Beasley, kind of a soft rush, just kind of eyeing, waiting for Russell Wilson to leave the pocket. But credit to Russell Wilson. That's one thing you learn, a 3-man rush. You don't have to leave unless you're flushed, and hold the ball a little bit, let them uncover. A guy like Doug Baldwin will do exactly that.
And so Seattle just refusing to die with 2:29 to go. Still a chance. 19 hurries on Russell Wilson today. Over the middle to Luke Wilson into a double team, and now the ball comes loose. It's still in the air, and it's intercepted. Jones, Deion Jones off the bubble, and Atlanta takes over. Craziness.
The one thing great players do, great defenses do, they finish. Dan Quinn said, look, we're not there yet, but we're preaching finish. They finished this play. The result's an interception for Deion Jones. Watch this. It looks like a completion. Watch the 2 defenders, Campbell and Collins, continue to play. Campbell rips it out. Collins keeps it up. And Deion Jones says, thank you very much.
That's one happy owner. A little hot potato. And Deion Jones, the rookie, one of those rookies John's been talking about out of LSU. He had 3 interceptions during the regular season. He brought 2 back for touchdowns. He almost brought that one back, but that one should seal the deal. A 2-minute warning will stop the clock. And Seattle's out of timeouts. Here's Freeman in the backfield. He'll get it. Devontae Freeman up the middle. 1st and goal.
You think this team's hungry for a championship? They're finishing everything. They've been spectacular today.
2-minute warning. It's about to be a party in the ATL. Dan Quinn's Falcons flying high here today. The former Seahawk has his team in front and on the way to advancing. State Farm post-game show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy is coming up next on Fox, so you want to stay tuned for that. Back in Atlanta. 2 minutes to go. Falcons trying to salt this one away. They've got a 1st and goal. Seattle out of timeouts, and they've got the ball on the 2. And for as good as Atlanta has been offensively all year and today, their defense has been a big story, Cole. But now they're going to just take a knee. Seahawks cannot stop the clock, and in victory formation with Matt Ryan. So how about these Falcons now, John? I mean, you know, I don't know that America really saw them. I don't know they really took them seriously. What about the Falcons going to the Super Bowl if they play the Cowboys or the Packers?
I think people knew they were good, but they thought, well, that's a regular season team. What about a postseason? One thing they do, Kevin, they preached it in Seattle. They take care of this, and they manage to be explosive. And today we saw them take it away on defense. This offense could be hard to stop. I don't care who you put them up against. They can run the ball. 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 They can run the b It's an excellent football team. Can't say enough about the job Dan Quinn has done. They're going to be tough to deal with.
I think you consider this about Atlanta, you know, and now some penalties fly, a little shoving in victory formation. John, Falcons regular season scored the 8th most points ever in the NFL. That's a lot of points.
And yet there was a
defense, nose guard, contact, half the distance to the goal, still second down.
I did a radio show this morning on our fine Fox Sports Radio, and the host said, yeah, but Matt Ryan's a great regular season quarterback. No, Matt Ryan's a great quarterback the way he played this year. He was incredible this year, all year long. He took it to another level. It started in the offseason, went out to Tom House, and Dan Quinn and all them said, look, you could tell something was different. He's always worked hard. He worked smart this offseason. It's made him a better player. He's got weapons all around. Wow.
They are going to be a handful for whoever they get. If the Packers win, they will host Green Bay. And if Dallas wins, they will go to Dallas. That's the matchup. They beat Green Bay here in a comeback win late from Matt Ryan in Week 8. Dallas, they did not play. And Dan Quinn and the Falcons are headed to the NFC Championship. Listen to this crowd. One more time to take a knee, and that's that. 36-20, and the Falcons are going to the NFC Championship.
What a way to close this building out as well. Unbelievable. They played great. They played fantastic.
A couple good friends coming together with Dan Quinn and Pete Carroll. And what a turnaround. In just his second year, Dan Quinn has taken this team, a team that hadn't been in the playoffs since 2012, into possibly a juggernaut.
Kevin, we've known the offense is good. The defense now has come to the party. That makes them especially tough to deal with.
Matt Ryan, tremendous today as he wins his second career playoff game, and they beat a team that is playoff battle tested. And they did it rather handily today in all aspects of the game. So the Falcons take down the Seahawks 36-20, the final score. State Farm post-game interviews, all that coming back. It's party time in Atlanta. Falcons advance, and we're back.